Well, with Justin Koo's pushing all the right buttons right now, who's facing his own infestation of ants right now, which is kind of crazy because everyone's making fun of me for having food out and attracting ants. Well, my table's looking extra clean right now. My table's feeling fine. And Kuz's room in the back there seems to have been bombarded with those mini ants that we've been talking about for the past 2 weeks or so now. And the crazy part is that he can't spray it because he's afraid he's going to get the board all wet with, raid and stuff, so he can't do that either.
Well, yeah, it's an expensive board. The last thing I need is someone being like, hey, you owe us a new board that's like, what, $10,000? Probably even more?
Yeah, go and put that on your tab. It's going to be a little pricey. Yeah, so with that being said, I guess I'm going to say good luck with that.
Do we have we need like a non-spray ant thing for me, like an ant trap.
Just use your hand or your shoe or something. You're going to be all right.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be fine.
They're kind of in the cracks is the problem.
So as you can tell, Brent Martineau right now is MIA, but might be expecting him around the 5 o'clock hour. Was on a little trip, a little excursion, if you will, the Stream Song golf course. And it's not just a golf course, man. They got hunting and fishing. It's kind of like a grown men camp, it seems like. Sounds like fun. And I golf. And they have like 25 fireplaces at a venue. And once again, when you got 25 fireplaces in the middle of Florida, you're doing something right. Kuz, you ever been to Stream Song before?
I've not, but I actually now want to do like a golf trip out there. Like I think that would be fun, like a weekend.
Pretty fun, just a little guys' weekend, maybe a little bad. Have you had a bachelor party?
Dude, I don't think I'm going to be able to get one in.
Why?
So 2 of my friends, that were supposed to get married, one just did, but the other one that was supposed to get married over the summer had to move his wedding. Yeah. We were also supposed to go to Vegas in March, like the week after everything shut down. So that got moved. So, like, we're waiting for his bachelor party so that I could potentially have mine.
Sure.
But my wedding's in April. Like, we're running out of time. We might not be able to get one in.
So can you have, like, a post-wedding bachelor party?
Are you allowed to? I don't know.
I mean, who says you can't?
I don't know.
Who says you can't?
I don't know.
Hey, a little word of advice, though. Don't take any pictures of it if you choose to do a bachelor party.
No photos will be taken.
No photos of it around groups of people. But, and listen, I got to set the rumors straight right now, too, a little bit before we get into some sports today. We got plenty to talk about. Yannick Ngakoue going to the Ravens, World Series Game 2. I developed a little formula to figure out just exactly who's going to land Trevor Lawrence. We're also joined by, let's be honest, Brent's not here, so I'm talking UFC pretty much the entire time. We got Ariel Helwani coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, and then just a little bit here, we're joined by the American gangster himself, the bad guy, if you will, Chael Sonnen. And they're both coming on to talk about UFC 254, coming on this Saturday. I believe the main card's actually at 2 o'clock p.m. because they're fighting in the Middle East. So once again, you don't want to say, check your local listings, but it's going to be a big card, and we'll break that down later in the show. But I got to put some rumors, and I got to squash something real quick here. And it was supposed to be a joke, and no matter how many times I say this on the radio, it seems like people aren't really getting the hint right now. So a couple days ago, Brent Martineau thought it would be funny to make fun of my contributions to the 2012 Jaguars for winning 2 games, right? I felt disrespected. I felt hurt. And as Brent Martineau always used to tell me, trust nobody in this business. Well, trust was a little bit violated. And I felt the need to take his tweet talking about my 2 wins in 2012, and I retweeted that, or I quote tweeted that, as the kids would say, and I directed that tweet at somebody else. Now, I'm not going to bring them up, obviously, but let's just say it might have been some competition, okay? It was all in good fun. I don't, in terms of I don't care, man. Like, it was all in good fun, right? Well, I tweet at the competition, and I get that, right when that happened, I get a personal message, a DM saying, hey, is everything okay with you and Brent in the show? And obviously, I had to reiterate, I'm not going to put anybody on blast. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not like that. I appreciate their concern. But people were starting to get concerned that me and Brent kind of had a fallout. And then today, when I said I'm going to have the keys to myself, talk, MMA, and kind of gave a little jab out talking about golf, once again, just kidding. Just joking, everybody. I don't mind talking about golf. I respect it. It's a sport, kind of.
We found out bogeys were goblins.
Yeah, bogeys are goblins. Hey, golf radio, you're welcome for that, by the way, because Brent didn't know it. I'm not sure if Stuart knew that. That came from me. So you're welcome. So anyways, I put out something about, MMA. I'm talking about it today. I had this show to myself for at least a little bit here. And once again, I get another direct message from a different person. hey, is everything okay with the show and you and Brett? So number one, like, I appreciate it because it shows that people are actually listening, right? And that's always a good indicator. And number two, it shows that people actually care about the show. Believe me when I say, and Brent's going to be here hopefully, in a couple hours or so. He can verify this too. We're all good, okay? We were joking around. Now, did I tweet at the competition and maybe want a shout out from them? I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say maybe I didn't want to get my beak a little wet and see if they had an offer for me. Now, was I going to take the offer? No. Did they want to see the offer? Maybe wanted to get my beak wet a little bit and see what they're bringing to the table. But at the end of the day, here's where I stand. I tweeted at them, okay? And they didn't tweet me back. Now, they follow me, so they saw the tweet. I had like 25 people like that tweet, so they saw the tweet. They have time during the day to tweet at Mo Southwest like 30 times per pop, but you can't even hit me back? So as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist to me anymore. It is what it is. I'm 690 till I die, right? I'm the leader of the syndicate, for crying out loud. I'm not going anywhere, and neither is Brent. So once again, for those of you that are sliding in my DMs or mention me on Twitter, I appreciate the concern, but I assure you, Brent Martineau and I are all good. It's crazy that I had to put that out there, Kuz, but people were concerned.
Well, yeah, I mean, once he finishes his day suspension, he'll be good and back.
I may have tattled on him a little bit. Yeah, it is what it is, but he's enjoying a nice vacation, as he should. Hardest working man in the sports media, especially in Jacksonville. Yannick Ngakoue. It's funny because I don't go on Twitter a lot during the week, obviously for promotions and sometimes news stories, or sometimes to see the chaos right now that is the New York Jets. And I go on Twitter this afternoon, and I see that Yannick Ngakoue was traded to Baltimore. Now, I think this was an Adam Schefter tweet. I'm not going to lie. I had to check it twice. I had to check that blue check mark, and then I had to check the Twitter followers because I was not buying it. The Minnesota Vikings, who gave, their draft capital to get Yannick Ngakoue to pair with Hunter, now all of a sudden up and trade Yannick Ngakoue to the Baltimore Ravens? Excuse me? Huh? So the Minnesota Vikings right now they're in full tank mode for Trevor Lawrence. And later on in the show, I'm going to say why that's a bad idea and why they aren't even in the top 3, top 4, probably top 5 chances of getting Trevor Lawrence. I'll talk about that later. But I found the reaction on Twitter, I don't want to call it baffling, but I was a little taken back by Jaguars fans about this trade, right? Because and keep in mind, this may be a majority, this may be a minority. I don't know what it is. It's just what I saw. And I saw Jaguars fans watching Yannick Ngakoue get traded to Baltimore, bring up the Jaguars again and the organization, right? Like, what a joke of an organization the Jaguars are, yada, yada, yada. And as I sat there and kind of just being infatuated with his tweets, I kind of felt the same way. Like, for some reason, Yannick Ngakoue going to the Baltimore Ravens made me upset about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'll be honest, I had no idea why. Why would I be upset about the Jaguars? They already traded him away. They washed their hands of the situation. No, it didn't end perfectly. They got something for him. Probably could have got a lot more, like Brent and I were talking about, if he would have held on him a little more, but it is what it is. But I'm sitting here wondering, why am I still upset at the organization for how it turned out? Now, I'm happy for Yannick Ngakoue. I never had a problem with Yan, okay? And I don't think a lot of people had a problem with Yan. Yes, there was the negative incident where he went after Tony Khan a little bit, and, that was in a bad light. That probably should have never been done. Tony Khan clapped back. You know what happened there? Tony Khan 10-8 round. It is what it is from Tony Khan. So I didn't agree with that decision right there because that was a Hail Mary that backfired in Jan's face. But at the end of the day, the guy was very clear what he wanted. And at the end of the day, I'm sitting here October 22nd, 2020, and I'm telling everybody right now, for what he got from the Vikings, for the money and everything, for the, taking a pay cut, whatever. But now for a guy to be essentially back home, playing for the team that he wanted to go to all along, Yannick Ngakoue has won. Okay? Now, it may have took a while to get there, may have gone through some trials and tribulations, if you will, but Yannick Ngakoue has won. So once again, I'm sitting here, I'm wondering, well, the player won. Why shouldn't I be 100% happy about that, right? Like the Jaguars washed their hands of him. Why do I still have this pit in my stomach thinking about the Jacksonville Jaguars? And then it dawned on me. And then I understood where the frustration on Twitter and Facebook and all your social media platforms was coming from in losing out with Yannick Ngakoue and him going to Baltimore. It was like a bright light, and it finally dawned on me. Yannick Ngakoue going to Baltimore is going to be a good thing for him and the Ravens. And in doing so, it's going to be a reminder for Jaguars fans how they lost him. Come with me here. Imagine like losing Yannick Ngakoue. Imagine losing Jalen Ramsey. Imagine losing out to Allen Robinson, not re-signing him to a contract. Imagine losing out to Calais Campbell or Leonard Fournette or Ronnie Harrison. Imagine losing out to all those guys, okay? And imagine that they go someplace else. It's almost like a breakup, right? It's almost like a breakup where it's like, all right, well, you guys are gone now. I want to wash my hands. I want to move on. I want to delete you from Facebook. And I want to never see you again. I don't want to be reminded of you. Not saying that they're bad people, because obviously they're not. Calais Campbell, one of the best human beings on the entire planet Earth. I'm just saying we don't want to really see those guys have success, because it's a reminder of what we could have had in Jacksonville. And if you don't think my point's proven, go back to week 1. Go back to Ronnie Harrison's mentions when the Cleveland Browns, well, it wasn't week 1, I'm sorry. I think it might have been week 1, but go back to Ronnie Harrison's mentions when he wasn't playing. Go back to Leonard Fournette's mentions when he had a bad game and the Bucs got beat week 1. Go back to Yannick Ngakoue's mentions when the Vikings got beat week 1 and the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Colts. Everybody was saying, we'll see you, Jan. We'll see you, Calais. We'll see you, Ronnie Harrison. What's up, Jalen Ramsey? We're 1-0 right now. How you guys doing? Right? Like, we had that for, like, Jaguars fans had that to put over everybody else. And that was a great feeling. But then what proceeded to happen? Loss after loss after loss. And now all of a sudden you see Calais Campbell have like 4-something sacks in one game. And he's the AFC Player of the Week. You see Jalen Ramsey putting up numbers on Pro Football Focus where he's like the best corner in terms of passes thrown to him, whatever. It's super scientific, nerdy stuff. But take my word for it, Jalen Ramsey's good right now. Okay? And then you have Yannick Ngakoue, who has more sacks than the entire Jaguars organization right now. And you have all this stuff going on, and it's just a reminder. It's a reminder of what this organization let go and what have we gotten for it. And Allen Robinson, same thing. Allen Robinson doing his thing in Chicago, right? Probably going to get a new contract here pretty soon, any day now. So all those guys succeeding, especially on, decent teams now like the Ravens, especially a team that can maybe go to the Super Bowl, that's just a reminder to Jaguars fans of what could have been. And people don't like to think like that. I don't like to think like that. I don't think anybody likes to think like that. And that's the problem right now this team finds itself in, and Jaguars fans find themselves in. It's what have we gotten for Jalen Ramsey? Well, let's be fair. We still have some draft picks to go with that. But right now you have C.J. Henderson. Well, let's be honest, everybody. C.J. Henderson, at least right now, he's not Jalen Ramsey. Now, that's not a fair comparison. That's what people want to compare him to. Yannick Ngakoue, what have we got for him yet? Well, nothing, essentially, because it was a fresh trade. Calais Campbell, what do we get for him? A background pick? That's not, nothing really. AJ Boye? Yeah. So when I bring up these names and we see them have success, and I'll be honest, I'm sure we're going to see the Ravens in the divisional playoff game or the AFC championship game. I'm sure Yannick Ngakoue and Calais Campbell will each have 2 sacks apiece, and it'll be trending, and Jaguars fans will be left thinking, oh, I remember those days. That's where we're at right now if you're a Jaguars fan. And that's not a great place to be. We want a clean break. We want to move on. But with these trades and everything, it's a daily reminder of what could have been. And that makes it harsh to be a Jaguars fan right now. More after the break here on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy today with a few scattered showers at times. Highs in the low to mid-80s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Hurry, Beards Buy One, Get One wedding band sale ends this Saturday.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's Best Magazine's Readers. Its affordable wellness plans are tailored to changing needs as they grow. A week, Forever Vets friendly able to treat you and your care. They combine online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forever.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
The ride you want, the savings you need. And did I mention when it comes to credit approval, almost everybody gets approved? Sounds like it's time to get it all and get over to Arlington Toyota today. Finding the best ride starts with big-time selection. And at Arlington, you'll find over 750 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Right now at Arlington, shop over 100 quality pre-owned cars to buy at $0 down and just $199 a month. Looking for a truck or SUV? Arlington's got 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs to buy at $0 down and $269 a month. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when I say get it all at Arlington, I mean it. Because you'll also get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Just another way that Arlington goes the extra mile for you. Get it all when you shop pre-owned at Arlington Toyota. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Join ESPN 690 in shopping the 904. When you help businesses here on the First Coast, you're really helping all of us. And it keeps our local economy going. That means jobs. 2020 has been a rough year, especially for local businesses. And you can make it when you shop local. You live in St. John's, Duke, Baker, Clay, Knapp, or other surrounding counties. Local. Shop the 904.
There's a new modern patient-centered orthopedic practice. So
we believe the patient pays for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
Getting the most technological medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
A much better experience with your physician. We all see our...
The answers for more focused care and patients.
Find out at orthoedge.com.
Ortho in the DePaul building attached to the medical center website.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch a show Monday through Friday p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 podcast app.
Brent Martin.
Then I said, still looking for a sports sack.
Austin Lake.
Pretty much every single day with somebody for pretty much 2 years now. Know somebody. And they surprised it here before you right now, and I am surprised.
Jacks on ESPN 90.
Welcome back to Action Sports Jacks, ESPN 690. We'll be talking a little MMA here in a second, seeing how I'm driving the car essentially by myself right now. And guess what, everybody? Just what you see outside, it's going to be clear, sunshiny out there, and it's going to be smooth ride. Trust me. But we got some comment right now on the text line or whatever you want to call it, but I seem to have struck a nerve, Kuz, a little bit with comparing Yannick Ngakoue to an ex-girlfriend, if you will. I can repeat some of these comments, but for our sponsors out there and FCC, I can't really repeat a lot of what I'm saying right now. But listen, I understand people are upset right now. Yannick Ngakoue going to the Ravens, and you probably got to watch him in the playoffs, and you got to think what could have been, all right? And it's a hard, I get that, okay? And maybe a second-round pick and maybe a third-round pick round. At the end of the day, the breakups happen. Go grab a full tub of ice cream. Go watch that Ravens playoff run. Sulk if you have to. Find your favorite blanket. Get lost in the world. And believe when I say it's going to be okay because I'm here for you, okay? Simple as that. So now let's change gears a little bit. Let's get into UFC 254. And, you know, when we're talking MMA, I got to put out the bat signal. And I got to try to get somebody big on the show, somebody I respect, somebody I enjoy talking to. I met this individual actually probably a year ago now almost in Miami at the Super Bowl. We are glad to be joined right now on ESPN 690 by former UFC, former Bellator fighter, a pioneer. No, I'm going to say the godfather of bringing entertainment and smack talk and eyeballs to MMA. He's often copied. He's never duplicated, and he's got a show with Ariel Helwani. You can check it on ESPN. We are glad to be joined right now by Chael Sonnen. Chael, how you doing, man?
Me never better. How's yourself? That's what matters.
You know what? I'm doing fantastic, man. I appreciate you asking. Hey, let's get right into it. We don't have that much time, but we got to talk about UFC 254. From top to bottom, I love this fight card. Obviously, we're discussing Khabib and Gaethje. There's something poetic, Chael, I think, about two guys who seem to be blue-collar, not flashy, don't really give you the great sound bites, but they let their skill sets do the talking. How excited are you for this fight coming up?
Yeah, these guys are special. You know, I love the interim championships. Some guys don't like that. They think they're a placeholder. I understand that. I just think there's time for a placeholder. And by the way, Justin Gaethje went and grabbed it. So now when you're putting him against Khabib, the undisputed champion, both guys walk out there with 12 pounds of gold that claim that they're the best in the same weight class. That doesn't work. Two guys can't be number one at the same time. We're going to figure this out the hard way, and that's on Saturday.
Chael, I'm surprised because if you look at the odds right now, and listen, I'm not much of a betting man when it comes to fighting because anything can happen in that octagon. But when I see Justin Gaethje, I see some places have him plus 250, some had him plus 300 right now. And that's shocking to me because this is a fight of identities. We know what Khabib is going to do. And we know what Justin Gaethje is going to do. The thing with Justin Gaethje, though, obviously he has the wrestling to back it up, right? Khabib, probably the greatest grappler of all time in mixed martial arts. Going against Justin Gaethje, who's an All-American. And for those casual MMA fans out there, yeah, that's pretty good. But we've never really seen Justin Gaethje use his wrestling before. He's more of a pressure fighter, use his leg kicks, get in your face a little bit. How do you see this fight shaking out?
Okay, so I love the point that you're bringing up because Khabib, while we watch him on TV, is this fantastic wrestler, but he doesn't actually have the resume behind him. He doesn't actually have an amateur career where he put on a singlet and there was a referee and put your foot on the line and your opponent will do the same. I bring that to you because I do concede that Justin Gaethje does not use his wrestling offensively, but I want to remind you he never gets taken down. He's still using that wrestling. He just uses it defensively. And the one thing about Khabib, we've seen rinse and repeat, fight after fight, championship after championship, round after round, but he takes people down. Khabib has never beaten anybody that he hasn't gotten on top of first, and I've never seen anybody get on top of Justin Gaethje. So to use both of their histories as a way of projecting their futures, I think you've got a very interesting match here. Khabib's got to get on top of a guy who nobody's ever gotten on top of.
You know, and it's a great point. It's kind of a clash of styles a little bit. And listen, styles are one thing, but listen, and I'm an MMA fighter myself, and we talked about that a little bit in Miami when I met you. But to be fair, this game, it's probably more mental than it is physical. Now, I don't enjoy bringing this part up, but I think it's going to be a huge part of the fight. And regrettably, I got to do it. But with Khabib, obviously, he lost his father a couple months ago. And when you talk about Khabib's father, you talk about a guy who essentially taught him how to wrestle, who's been in his corner for a lot of fights. And I think that professional athletes, more than anything, they're creatures of habit, right? So this was a different fight camp, obviously, for Khabib. This is going to be a different walk to the octagon for Khabib. And one of two things can happen, I feel like. Either he's going to use that as motivation, and we'll see a brand new Khabib, even better, faster, stronger than before, or we see a guy who's just not all there. What Khabib do you think is going to show up here, Chael?
And I think you're very well within your lane to bring that up, and I agree with you. It's a sensitive topic, but it is very relevant to this fight. Khabib's relationship with his father is something that was very public, and we all knew, and it has a bit of a Rocky-esque feel to it. It has a bit of a Mike Tyson Customato feel to it. And I think that you've hit it on the head. I also see it as you see it. This is either going to be a pick-me-up or a bring-me-down. We know how strong Khabib is, right? But how mentally tough is he? This is a mental drill. He's never passed. He's never failed to pass a mental exercise. I think he's going to pass this one, but I do agree with you. It's going to be a different Khabib. It's either going to be one out there fighting for nostalgia, for respect, for honor towards his father, or it's just going to overcome him. And I don't judge him either way, but I think that you're right to bring it up because I do think it's a meaningful storyline. We always talk about this with athletes, about the focus and the mental side of it. Imagine being in Khabib's spot. It's very sad. It's very trying, but he is going to push forward either way, and I respect that.
We got a few more questions here for Chael Sonnen regarding UFC 254. Chael, so you know what they say. You're only as good as your last fight, right? And if I look at, if I look at Justin Gaethje's last fight, we had him on the show, and he did his thing against Tony Ferguson. It was a masterclass performance against a very tough individual. And if that showed us anything, it showed us that Justin Gaethje, regardless of who he's going against, whether it's Ngakoue now or Khabib coming up, he's not afraid of anybody. And he essentially walked down the barrel that is Tony Ferguson and said, listen, I got the cardio, I have the violence in my hands, and I'm going to show you what I'm all about. And he passed with flying colors. And Khabib, the same thing I can think with Dustin Poirier. But I want to go 2 fights back, and I'm not sure if I should be doing this or not, but I want to talk about Al Iaquinta versus Khabib. During that fight, Khabib obviously mauled him. He got on top of him, and Al Iaquinta is no slouch in himself. A very tough individual, a great wrestler with decent striking. Towards that 5th round, Al Iaquinta started to get off just a little bit. Now, he didn't win the fight, obviously, but we saw Khabib, we saw him be human for once, right? And we saw a guy who was undefeated actually show, man, this guy's taking some punches right now. So as I fast forward to this fight now, Chael, I see Justin Gaethje being a buffed up, a better version of Al Iaquinta. Is that a fair comparison or not?
I think you're going down the right road. And the one thing that we did learn in that fight is most fighters and most of the greats do have more than one thing they can do, but they all have their clear favorite. They have their clear game plan. With Khabib, it's to get on top. And when Khabib gets on top and you get up, you're now different. You're not the same guy. He will bludgeon you, but he will also take so much energy from you. You're just not the same. Al Iaquinta was very smart in that he didn't go to the fence. Khabib does everything, but is with the same setup, if you will. Okay, he does not just take somebody down. He pressures them, he puts them in the fence, then he takes them down. If you can keep your back off the fence, exponentially your chances of not being taken down go up. And Justin Gaethje is, I think many of us have identified this, but Justin is the first publicly to verbalize it. So I know at least that Justin knows at least he got to stay off the fence. It's not about the shot, the takedown, or the trips. It's about where it happens. Nothing happens with Khabib until he pushes you into the fence. And that's what Al Iaquinta did so well, which is why he was able to stay on his feet and find some very good moments. I don't concede, like some people, that Khabib looked terrible in the stand-up. I will just concede that he looks better when he's on top. And I think if your overarching point here is to say that Justin Gaethje may be the one guy to force him onto the feet because he can't get on top, I agree with you.
We got 2 more questions here for Chael Sonnen, then we'll let him go real quick. But, Chael, I got to ask you, and Khabib, listen, I think his striking has improved. We saw that against Conor McGregor, right? But let's be honest here. It's because of his wrestling and people's fear of that. It's why his striking has got so much better. Now, listen, you dropped Conor McGregor, and I have to give you props for that. I look at the UFC and the landscape right now, and I watch the evolution of it. And it's called mixed martial arts for a reason, right? You just can't be versed in one thing. You kind of have to be the jack of all trades, if you will. But to me, Khabib is one of those sole guys that can be good at one thing, dictate it, and win. I mean, heck, the guy's undefeated, for crying out loud. I compare him, and there's another guy by the name of Damian Maia, who is obviously a jiu-jitsu black belt, who relies a lot on his jiu-jitsu to get the job done. Those are really the only 2 guys that I can think of who really just bring one thing to the sport of MMA. I guess my question to you is, are these kind of are these 2 pioneers in terms of just that one thing in MMA where they're going to go away and we're never going to see that again? Or will we see more dominant wrestlers with, okay, striking? Or will we see that jiu-jitsu guy where that's all that he does?
I think it's rare and rare that you see a specialist. I think it's rare and rare that you see a guy who has one skill, but he's perfected it so much that even going against a guy that's okay at that skill, he can still dominate him. We don't. George St. Pierre would come to mind where he could throw everybody down. Or in the reverse of this is Francis Ngannou, who appears to be a bit of a one-trick pony with his just a couple of good left and right hands. But the bottom line is, I still do appreciate those guys. Those guys can take one thing. Everybody knows it's coming. Kind of like Babe Ruth, who walks to the mound and says where he's going to put the ball. It's no secret. He puts it there anyway. I think it's special. But to your point, they are fewer and further between.
All right, Joe, one last question for you, man. I had to ask you. I'm not sure if you can comment on it or not. Who do you have winning this fight?
I have Khabib. I think it's going to be a long fight. I think they're likely to go all night long. But it is pretty straightforward. It's just like what Justin Gaethje said. If I can kick him 4 times, I can change him. If he can take me down 1 time, he will change me. I take him at his word. I think Khabib's going to get that takedown.
Chael Sonnen, man, I appreciate you stopping by. It's great to hear from you again. You're always welcome on our show, man. Open door policy.
You're awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, man. Khabib Justin Gaethje goes down this Saturday. Once again, I think it starts at 2 p.m. We're talking to Ariel Helwani here in a little bit about that time change, right? Because we're talking about a pay-per-view taking place in the States where it's in the afternoon. How is that going to deal with the U.S. demographic? How is that going to do for pay-per-view buys, things like that? We'll talk about that later with Ariel Helwani. But we got a lot more Jaguars related, let's just say, when we get back here on ESPN 690.
Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. But if you missed the show, you missed this. The Jags have 2 opt-outs. How big are these losses in your opinion?
Laurent McCray is different to me. This is a guy who's going on his 7th season here in the NFL. If you have the honor to wear the C in that locker room, it means that you're a leader. You have some sort of influence on that team.
Subscribe to the podcast and check the show out on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Get the podcast daily. All you have to do is search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. It's an unretirement for Jaguars defensive end Aaron Lynch. He'll have to go through 5 days of COVID testing, but he could join the team as early as Monday. As you may recall, Lynch was signed to a 1-year deal and retired at the beginning of the season. He has currently more sacks than anyone on the Jaguars defense. In addition, the Jaguars designated Josh Lambo to come back from IR. Although it's not certain that he'll play this week. Coach Marone is going to make the call as we get closer to the game. Last night, Tampa Bay took Game 2 of the World Series 6-4, pulling even with the Dodgers at a game apiece. Here's Rays manager Kevin Cash.
Brandon Lau had a big night for us. Joey Wendell's hit off May was huge to give us a little bit of cushion right there from 1-0 to 3-0. Nice to see the offense come to life.
Game 3 is Friday night. You're working from home and want to listen to ESPN? Tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 690.
You remember that special Camry purchase I was telling you about? The one that Arlington made that could put you behind the wheel of a Camry you really want? Well, in a matter of days, they've gone from 132 Camrys to just 99 on the lot. They're going fast, and so should you to Arlington. It's the Today's the Day sales event going on right now at Arlington Toyota, and their special purchase of new 2020 Camrys has gone from 132 in stock to just 99 that remain. That's how good the deals are. Make today the day you save big at Arlington and buy a new 2020 Camry at 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Want a new Camry? Then today's the day to get 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. But they're going fast, so don't wait. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/today's the day for full details.
If you're getting married soon, here's how you can save thousands.
Beards Diamonds has been busy the last few weeks, preparing their showcases for the largest inventory of wedding bands in North Florida.
So if you're popping the question or want to update your bands, you don't want to miss Beards Diamonds' spectacular wedding band sale.
Hurry, this sale absolutely ends Saturday. Buy any lady's wedding band and get the men's band free.
Yes, free, and only at Beards Diamonds.
Beards Diamonds has brought in extra inventory just for this sale.
All stackable, all right-hand rings, all eternity bands, and wedding bands.
The largest selection of men's and women's wedding bands in North Florida, all at the guaranteed lowest price.
It's the biggest jewelry event of fall. Hurry, sale ends Saturday. And it's only at Beards Diamonds.
Where exceptional is affordable.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, you're probably looking for ways to stretch your dollar these days. So, saving up to 30% on workers' comp insurance could mean more now than ever. That's why you owe it to yourself to check your rate with Pi Insurance. With Pi, it's easy to find out if you're leaving money on the table. Just get an online quote in 3 minutes on your computer or smartphone. Simply go to trypi.com and see if you're overpaying for workers' comp. Pi Insurance was created exclusively for small businesses. Built to make workers' comp work for you, with a simple online experience and trusted service. Pi is rated excellent on Trustpilot by customers, who say they make getting insurance as easy as pie. What are you waiting for? Find out today if you could save up to 30% for your workers' comp insurance. Ask your insurance agent for Pi Insurance or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Hey, boss, look at this article from the Crooks R Us newsletter.
What you got there, Peaches?
It says, disappointed consumers are returning do-it-yourself alarm systems in record numbers.
That doesn't surprise me. Once folks realize us crooks love the DIYs, they come to the senses and send them back.
Yeah, then they upgrade to a safe touch system and poof, instant crook repellent.
You got that right.
Oh, but wait till you hear this, boss. These do-it-yourself alarm companies are taking back these alarms from customers and then reselling them as refurbished.
Oh, gee, I thought we were shameless.
Yeah, but it's good when you think about it. The more DIY systems out there means fewer safe touch systems.
True, because we all live by the Crooks R Us motto, stay away from safe touch houses.
That's right.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Did you know breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people every year in the U.S.?
That's 113 people every day.
Breast cancer is unacceptable. Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our best wellness program, and welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Nathan here from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We've got our largest inventory of SUVs ever, including the new Tahoes, Suburbans, and 2020 Chevy Trax. This month, get into a new Trax starting as low as $16,900. That's under $17,000 for a brand new SUV. At Gordon, you'll find a huge selection of new Chevys, no bull pricing, and we always do our best to get you out in your new car in about an hour. Gordon Chevy, 5 miles south of the Orange Park Mall, on the money-saving end of Blanding, or online at gordonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
A healthier you is the first step toward a healthy baby. When planning a pregnancy, baby steps toward better health can deliver big results. Exercising regularly and eating a balanced diet will help you reach or maintain a healthy weight and increase the likelihood of a healthy baby. Taking a multivitamin containing folic acid every day helps prevent birth defects, and regular medical and dental checkups are especially important when planning for pregnancy. To learn more about taking your baby steps toward a healthy pregnancy, call Florida's Family Health Line at 1-800-451-2229.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
San Francisco, by the way, they started to remind you a little bit potentially of the 18 Jaguars, just crushed with injuries the Jags did in 2018. You know, people don't remember that. People are like, well, Blake Bortles and they stunk and all that. But they got decimated by it. I mean, they really got unlucky with injuries.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them, ESPN690.com.
Obviously, it's great
But, Doug's got to do what's best for the organization one way or the other. And, it's not about, being a friendship or anything like that. It's about us trusting each other, and we're going to continue to work together as long as we can and try to win as many football games as we can.
Let me take a guess who that was, Coos. Would that be Jaguars defensive coordinator Todd Wash? Ding, ding, 1 for 1 today. I'm on fire. It's not about friendships, is it? Yeah, it's definitely not about friendships. It shouldn't be about friendships, at least. Listen, this is, I guess, there's a lot of things that I can blow the whistle on and throw the flag at and say, this is what's wrong with the NFL, or this isn't right, yada, yada, yada. But it'll probably be falling on deaf voices, and I don't think people want to really hear about that. But there are reasons why I never really chose the coaching profession, because there are a lot of politics and there are a lot of things behind the curtain that I've seen firsthand that I could just never co-sign on. And one of those is, I think the fact that, the preachiness of winning, it's found in every single locker room, right? Like, if you're a player, and listen, this has been ingrained in you as a player since you're in Pop Warner, right? There's winning, there's having fun in Pop Warner. But once you get to high school, having fun comes second next to winning, right? Because if you're winning, spoiler alert, you're probably having a lot of fun. So, winning is always preached, and it's always stressed. And you get that in college as well, and then it gets amplified even more in the professional ranks of the NFL. And I remember every single meeting to start out a training camp for, the 5 years that I've played that sport professionally. The first goal was obviously winning and going to a Super Bowl. That's what everyone talked about. When Shad Khan came in here, when I was essentially on my way out, and he sat down the team and he introduced himself, he said he was going to bring a Super Bowl to Jacksonville. One of the very first words that he echoed was, the Super Bowl is coming to Jacksonville. That was the goal. Now, listen, everyone's going to say, well, where are you at with that one right now? And I agree, okay? Let's be honest, I agree. But, that was on his mind as well. So it's on everybody's mind. Winning, you have to win in this game. If not, if you're a player especially, you're gone. I told a story a couple days ago where we had Darryl Smith and Jeremy Mincy during a 2-win season stand up in front of the team. I think we were on week 15 or week 16. We're wrapping up. And they said, you guys better win these games. Because if not, they're going to clean house and you guys are going to be gone. And you know what? They weren't wrong. Everybody was gone. I've said this before. The only guy that I played with now on that roster is Avery Jones. That's it. There is nobody else left from, those 2012, camp days to 2013. It's just Avery Jones. And that's it. So it shows you the turnover. It shows you what happens when you're not winning a lot. Now, yes, contracts, free agency, injuries, all those things happen. But the one common denominator is the fact that if you aren't winning, there will be roster turnover. So then let's put this on the coaching situation. And let's put this on why I have such a problem with some of the things going on in the business with coaching. Is winning important? It can be. I think if you have a good team, winning's important. But if you go to Mike Zimmer right now and you ask him, well, you traded Yannick Ngakoue away. You sat down Daniel Hunter. We'll see how long Dalvin Cook is out. Is winning truly the most important thing right now to that Vikings organization? I'll be the first one to tell you and say it is absolutely not that important. When the Jets let Jamal Adams go, when the Jets sat Sam Darnold, we'll see when Sam Darnold comes back. Obviously, he had a shoulder injury. But is winning the most important thing right now in that Jets organization? To the players, it is. To every single player in that Vikings locker room, in that Jets locker room, or that Jaguars locker room, winning is the only thing. Because that's all those guys know. And they know that if they keep on losing, it's a horrible feeling. There's nothing better than winning a football game. Take my word for it. I didn't do it a lot, but when I did, you better believe that I was at Jack's Beach Bar celebrating. Because the drinks taste better. Food tastes better. You sleep better. You want to be around your family more. You're in a better mood. When you go to the stadium on a Monday, you're in a better mood. You look forward to it. You look forward to watching the game film and getting better. Practice that week is a little easier. There are so many things that happen that after you win that I wish I could put them all in a book, and maybe I will one day, and I'll share those things. Like, winning is the only thing. So to say right now, well, the Jaguars are tanking, the Jets are tanking, the Vikings are tanking. Listen, they may be tanking from the higher-ups, but there's not one player in that locker room right now that doesn't have his heart and his mind and his body set on winning. That's the way this goes, okay? So this is my issue with it. If you have guys like that, and take my word for it, they're like that, who are all in. But then on the other side of the coin, the guys that are running the show and coaches and GMs and the guys that are supposed to be creating the culture are essentially saying, well, yeah, this season's probably done. Trevor Lawrence looking pretty good. Justin Fields, not bad. Trey Lance, maybe I'll roll the dice a little bit. When you have guys that think like that, it drives me absolutely insane because now winning is not the most important thing. The future is the most important thing. And relationships start to be the most important thing, right? I understand what Todd Wash said during that soundbite. He said friendships aren't, it's not about friendships. Okay, but let's be honest, Coach Wash, and I'm not going to call him Todd. I'm going to call him Coach Wash because I have respect for that dude. I've said it many times. I have nothing but respect for Todd Wash as a human and an individual, and even when he was a coach for me. I respect that guy. But let's be honest here. How many times have we seen position coaches get 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th chances? And position coaches that probably have no business coaching that position. I don't want to name any names, but I came across a few of them in my lifetime on different teams. And those coaches, needless to say, are still in the league. And it's not just me saying, oh, well, this guy. No, I mean, you can ask anybody that I played with on those teams, and they'll tell you exactly the same thing. How is this guy a position coach? Makes no sense. Because it's all about networking in the NFL. Like, people want to put the NFL on a pedestal so much. And you know what? To be fair, sometimes maybe it deserves to be on a pedestal. But this is not one of those cases. Whether it's a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whether it's a job even in this business of sports media, or whether it's a job in the NFL, it's all about connections and who you know. Look no further than Sean McVay a couple years ago. Anybody that shook hands with Sean McVay, anybody that lived in the same area code, it seemed like, as Sean McVay, got a job. Not because they were qualified, but because they knew him. Okay? That's where the NFL's at right now. It's all about who you know, who's going to go with you, and who you trust. Now, yes, I understand trusting in coaching circles and trusting of a team. I mean, trust is a big thing. I think communication is bigger, but you have to have some sort of trust. If not, it falls apart, whether that's a friendship, a relationship, a marriage, a football team, or a company. You have to have trust. But I think too many times in the NFL, the higher-ups, whether it be GMs, coaches, or the latter, they get so bogged down with what they know and what they feel comfortable with. And what they feel comfortable with is mediocre seasons. The guys out there that want to take that risk, the guys out there that maybe make that hiring where it's different, it's new, it's out of the box, usually gets results. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe it backfires in your face and you're a worse team than you were before. But why not take that chance? There is so much complacency in terms of the NFL and the coaching landscape. It absolutely baffles me, and I'll never understand it. Because you have to ask yourselves the question, is it about winning games, or is it about when the season is over, you go over to your friend's house, you talk about the season, you share it, and you say, man, hopefully we get better next year. You can't have it both ways as far as I'm concerned. And you can't have it both ways if you're not having success. It's as simple as that. So I think that if you're going to ask the players every single year who come in and say, hey, the top priority guys, put it on the board, we got to win. We got to go to Super Bowl. I think it's a little far-fetched, and I think it's a little, I guess it's a little... It's a sad state of affairs when you ask a player to do that, but at the same time, when you analyze a season, you maybe have 4 or 5 losses, you turn around and say, well, yeah, we still want to win, but it's not the top thing. And to me, that's how you lose culture, and to me, that's how you lose an organization. And that's why I'm so adamant, and I've been adamant about the Jacksonville Jaguars not tanking. Like, I don't want to see them tank. I don't want to see the Jaguars have a losing mentality. I don't care if Trevor Lawrence is the next reincarnation of Peyton Manning. I really don't care. I don't want to talk about this team losing. And you know what? Those guys in that locker room don't want to talk about it. And those guys in that locker room aren't going to do it. So here in the next, we'll probably say in the next 30, 45 minutes or so, I've actually have a list of stuff that I've broken down about who's going to land Trevor Lawrence and why. And I kind of added some criteria to it, a la Brent Martineau, who had his, I think he had his 6 things that Jaguars have to do to be successful this season, which we'll probably go back over that halfway through the season. I kind of have a list of things that teams need to do right now to get Trevor Lawrence, or who is going to get Trevor Lawrence based off this criteria. So that's coming up. And also, I'm going to break down Taven Bryan. It needs to be done on the wall that says it all. I'm going to break Taven Bryan down. I'm going to break down this Jaguars defense. I'm going to talk about the wide 9 and why it should be implemented yesterday. And we get into all that as well. First, I want to touch on it a little bit. I want to talk about Antonio Brown real quick. Antonio Brown, listen, there was a trending topic last night. For no reason except ESPN decided to say, you know what? Teams are interested in Antonio Brown. Did a team sign Antonio Brown? No. Are teams interested? Maybe. But the teams that obviously are interested right now are teams like the Seahawks. Like that's the big name being thrown around right now. And to be fair, does Russell Wilson really need Antonio Brown? You got Tyler Lockett. You got DK Metcalf. You got Greg Olsen, who's like 50 years old, but he's still respectable. The guy is like a crafty veteran. He's not a bad tight end. And you always got a strong running game. Like, you have the pieces to be successful. But here we got Pete Carroll once again, trying to go above and beyond to put that team over. Once again, we have the Baltimore Ravens training for Yannick Ngakoue. If I'm a Jaguars fan right now, isn't that where I want my team to be? Don't I want the culture in place to say, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a chance on Antonio Brown. Let's just see what happens. Let's roll the dice a little bit. If it doesn't work out, we'll cut him. But if it works out, we've seen what we can do. And yes, does Antonio Brown come with a ton of baggage? You better believe it. I'll be the first person to tell you that. And you know how I feel about some of that baggage, right? All things considered about, the court system and how those things are being handled, I'm not up to date on what the proceedings are being. I think he has the 8-game suspension, and it might be more depending on what the NFLPA and the courts find. So who's to say Antonio Brown comes back after week 8? I have no idea. But I'm just saying, if nothing more comes of it, and yes, you have a guy where distractions have seemed to follow him no matter where he goes. And you have a guy, you really have a team in the Steelers now who's a better organization for having let Antonio Brown go. And you have an organization in the New England Patriots who essentially took a chance, and we'll talk about culture. Well, the Patriots are the culture. Who took a chance at Antonio Brown, and they couldn't even handle him. So why sign Antonio Brown? Because like I said before, this game should be about winning. This game should not be about friendships and who you know. It should be about winning games and hoisting a Lombardi trophy. And I'll be the first one to say, I think Antonio Brown is a huge problem. I think he's a huge headache, and I think he could be a detriment to a lot of teams out there. But not the Seahawks, not the Patriots, because they have culture. They have the means to facilitate Antonio Brown. And you know what? If it's not going to work out, hit the road then. Simple as that. You can't do that in Jacksonville. You probably can't even take a chance on Jamal Adams in Jacksonville because Jamal Adams was disgruntled, obviously. He wanted out. He goes to Seattle. You think Jacksonville would have took on Jamal Adams? Probably not. But meanwhile, the Seahawks right now are undefeated and one of the favorites to win the NFC. Meanwhile, right now, the Baltimore Ravens not doing too bad. And meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars right now are stuck at 1-5 with no culture, watching these, fantastic players, some of the tops of their position, go to different teams. That's not Jacksonville. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
Boss, bad news. You know those ding-dong porch video cameras?
You mean the ones we love to hack?
Yeah. Well, now SafeTouch has doorbell cameras that are state-of-the-art and virtually hack-proof.
What? Hack-proof?
Yeah, plus they're motion activated and they have two-way audio so homeowners can use the app from anywhere in the world with internet and talk with whoever's at their front door.
Oh, great. And I suppose they have high-def recording, too.
And boss, right now during the holidays, Safe Touch Security is offering these video doorbells a $229 value for only $49.
$49? Well, so much for our porch pirate days.
Boss, this could ruin the holidays.
Well, just another reason I hate Safe Touch.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Diamonds Direct stands behind our commitment to always be there for our customers, especially the men and women serving our country. If you're in the military and travel and non-essential retail restrictions have interrupted your plans, no worries. Diamonds Direct has you covered. So, if you're ready to pop the question or looking for that perfect pair of diamond studs, you don't have to wait. We bring the showroom to you, virtually. So simple. Just go to diamondsdirect.com and click the chat or virtual appointment icon. A Diamonds Direct associate will connect with you from wherever you are. We have the tools to help you select the perfect diamond using our virtual platform. And of course, virtually shopping with Diamonds Direct includes all of our promises. Our lifetime warranty, lowest price guarantee, and the 110% lifetime upgrade policy. Plus, we're thrilled to offer members of the military special pricing to ensure you're getting the very best value. We thank you for your service and your dedication to our country. Connect with us anytime from anywhere at diamondsdirect.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Picking up an online order? No problem. It'll just be a moment. You know, we've got more convenient ways to shop besides our same-day store pickup. You can also shop from your car with our free curbside pickup. Or you can even shop completely from home with our free next-day delivery. Just order by 10 p.m. on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery on eligible orders. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for Straight Talk, just like football. You want the best coverage with your wireless network without your wallet taking a hit? Straight Talk Wireless gives you the same nationwide coverage as the big carriers, America's best networks, for up to 50% less. Just $45 a month for 25 gigs of high-speed data than 2G with an unlimited plan. No contract, no mystery fees. Don't get sidelined by weak protection. Get Straight Talk Wireless. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Moving Sunday's Buccaneers-Raiders game from 8:20 Eastern to 4:05 Eastern. League making the move out of an abundance of caution to make sure a game will be available for fans on Sunday Night Football. After placing right tackle Trent Brown on the reserve COVID list yesterday, the Raiders sent home all 5 starting offensive linemen due to contact tracing. The Seahawks-Cardinals game has been moved to Sunday night. Adam Schefter reporting the Seahawks, one of several teams expressing interest in receiver Antonio Brown. His 8-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy eligible to end after Week 8. How long Brown lasts with his next team depends on one thing, believes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
This is about Antonio Brown and if he ever wants to play football again. And if somebody gives him a chance, he needs to understand the gravity of that. He needs to understand that he needs to be on his best behavior when it comes to fitting in and making sure he's adding positive things as opposed to coming in and create negative situations.
The NFL continues its investigation into a sexual assault allegation against Brown.
Want to know what's really scary? Seeing just how much you could have been saving on car insurance by switching to Geico. It's almost as scary as watching your dog growl at the wall and realize he sees something you don't. Get a quote at geico.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I like to think so. I think it's very important that everyone holds each other accountable, and there are no feelings in any of this. It's nothing personal. So if I make a mistake, I need to know it, and I need to be as hard on myself as I am on others. And so I want to be held to the same standard as everyone else.
That's a hard one. He's a Jaguar. Oh, okay. Well, I'm out.
Is playing the Jags this week?
Oh, Herbert. Man. Damn, I'm sorry, man. I thought we were in like Jacksonville mode here. I was thinking like Joe Schobert or somebody. Nah, Justin Herbert. Yeah, I mean, what?
You made me think Joe Schobert's wife, by the way. I said that to you guys.
Dragging him. Slaying him on TikTok right now. Absolutely slaying that poor guy. Like, is it bad enough he came from Cleveland to Jacksonville? Obviously, I mean, the team's not doing that well. And now you got to make fun of the guy? Like, if you guys haven't seen it, go check out TikTok. If you haven't, I don't. Koo showed it to me, thankfully.
I'll share it on our Facebook
Go ahead and share it on the Facebook page. But it is pretty funny, man. She's got a great personality. I'm sure she's probably from Wisconsin, too. A lot of great personalities up there in Wisconsin, Coos. Take my word for it. Hey, listen, we got a lot going on tonight. We got the barn burner that's going to be the Eagles and Giants Thursday night football.
How would you try to sell that to someone like that? This game tonight?
Yeah. Well, do you want to watch the presidential debate or football? That's how I would sell it. Okay. Or maybe you can go back and forth. No, I'm going to have picture-in-picture going. I'm not sure who's going to be the audio.
Only one of those is going to have a mute button,
sadly.
I know.
Well, exactly. We'll see how the audio goes here. I'll probably lean more towards the presidential debate, just because I know what it's going to be about. The Eagles-Giants game, who knows, man? The NFC least, if you will. It's a dumpster fire. Like, if I was Roger Goodell, I would seriously consider if one of the so let's say in a perfect world that the champion of the NFC East wins maybe 6 games and they go to the playoffs. If I'm Roger Goodell, shutting it down. I'm like, absolutely not. If I'm Roger Goodell, I'm going to the league offices. I'm saying, no. You know what? No one from the East can go. Let's bring somebody else in from the West or whatever it's going to be, but nobody's going to go from the East because it's not going to work like that. Not on my watch. If you win 6 games in a season, you do not deserve to go to the playoffs. It's not the NBA. It ain't the NHL, all right? This is professional football. Have a little class, have a little self-dignity, and understand that if a team, and mark my words, Coos, mark my words. I've never said the B word before, boycott, but seeing how the Jaguars are playing, I got nothing in it for me. If a 6-win team goes to the playoffs, I might boycott. I might do it.
The show or NFL?
No, the NFL.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Come on, man. I'm not going to boycott the show. Someone's got to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I got a kid in kindergarten. I got to pay the bills here. I'm not going to boycott the show. I have fantasy football to worry about anyways. And we'll get into that in a little bit in terms of fantasy football. There's some latest developments here revolving around fantasy football corruption that I can't get to. But real quick, like I said, we got a barn burner tonight. Eagles, Giants. If that's not your speed, presidential elections tonight. No baseball. Sorry, but we got a lot of things going on tonight. Why not chase it down, Coos, with a nice pepperoni pizza or any topping of your choice? Just don't make it pineapple because you know how I feel about that. Let's go. Coos, caller number 4. You call into the show right now, 904-362-9901 or *690. Call into the show right now, and I'll give you a free gift card to Donato's Pizza. Right? Caller number, is it 4?
Yeah, 4 is good.
Caller number 4. Is that good with you? Does that make your job harder?
No, that's fine.
So call number 16 then?
16 makes it a little stressful.
All right, so let's go call number 4 then. Call number 4. We'll give you a free gift card to Donato's Pizza. Compliments of ESPN 690. Hey, every Thursday we like to do the FSU at 4. And it's a big game for the Seminoles coming up here as they travel to Louisville. A big game for a couple of reasons, right? You're coming off of a big win against number 5 UNC. Now, I get all the haters out there. Well, it was North Carolina. The Big Ten hasn't played yet. North Carolina wasn't a top. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, when we go back to the voids of history, we're going to see North Carolina at one time was number 5 in the nation. And we're not going to ask how they got there. We're going to go on with our lives. So Florida State beat North Carolina. That's a huge, huge game. It's a huge game from recruiting. It's a huge game for confidence building. And it's a huge game, obviously, for the fans where it's like, you know what? It's been bad for so long. We saw that Jacksonville State game went in the first half, the Notre Dame game. Finally, Florida State Seminole fans have something to cheer about. So with that being said, this begs the question now traveling to Louisville. And keep in mind, we're talking about a Louisville Cardinals team right now that gave Notre Dame a run for their money for 3 quarters. At the end, they kind of faltered, they kind of sputtered. But for 3 quarters, Louisville played them tough, all right? And I was getting ready to see another upset along those lines, a la Florida State and North Carolina. Didn't happen, though. My point, though, is this. We've seen what Florida State has done these past couple games in terms of adversity, right? I feel like this team, and I'm not sure what the slogan of this team is. I think it's like keep climbing or something like that. The slogan should be adversity, right? Because ever since Mike Norvell got on campus, it's been about adversity, right? There's a miscommunication between Mike Norvell and his players, spearheaded by Marvin Wilson. And I just feel like the past, couple weeks or so, it's been adversity with obviously Notre Dame beating you like they beat you. Jacksonville State doing their thing in the first half. You're looking pretty bad. People are saying, Florida State, Mike Norvell, not the man for the job. They come out, they beat North Carolina, and now what are we talking about? The resurgence. All of a sudden, Florida State football is back. So we've seen what Florida State can do with adversity. Now comes the question, what can Florida State do when they're kind of the guy again? What can Florida State do with confidence now? We haven't seen this type of Florida State football in a long time. And you're playing on the road against a Louisville team who plays some pretty good defense. And you're playing on the road against a Louisville team that Jordan Travis has a little history with, spent some time there in Louisville. So it's a big game from both parties. So I'm going to be looking for what type of Florida State comes out now. I think the burdens of Marvin Wilson a little bit. You saw him make play after play after play in that North Carolina game. I like the fact that Marvin Wilson is putting hay in the barn, if they will, putting water in the basement, if they will, and he's making a name for himself in that draft stock. Like, listen, it's a foregone conclusion. Marvin Wilson will probably be a pretty good NFL player. Like, we all knew that, right? But I think from being that bridge guy, like I always talk about, from being the guy that's going to usher in the new era of Florida State football, it's great to see him playing well, jumping around, having fun, because that's the guy right there. Like, to me, if Marvin Wilson does well, the entire Florida State Seminoles do well. Like, that guy is contagious. That's the leader of that team. All due respect to Mike Norvell, who, I think eventually will take over as, the head honcho, let's just say. But I think it's just as much as Marvin Wilson's team as it is Mike Norvell's team. So it's great to see Marvin Wilson playing well. I'm just curious to see what type of Florida State comes out now that they have confidence. Because one of two things are going to happen. Mike Norvell is going to get his guys ready to play a game that, let's be honest, they should win, right? They should, on paper, the matchup, they should win this game. I get it. Louisville's linebackers, very tough. Might have a tough time running against them, but Florida State should win this game. So either they come out confident that Florida State swag is back and they dominate, or they don't know how to handle being the front runner now and they crumble. To me, this is a big game for that Florida State locker room, but it's even a more important game for Mike Norvell, because now you have Florida State where you want them. All eyes are on you, right? Recruiting is going to go up a little bit. You beat the number 5 team in the country. What do you do against a team now with confidence that you should beat? I can't wait to check that out. It's going to be, listen, I understand that the North Carolina game, that's a huge game for Florida State. And I say it every single week. It's kind of cliche. Well, this is a big game. This is a big game. Believe me when I say this is a big game, not only for this team right now, but I think also the future of Seminole football. I mentioned fantasy football a little bit. And Coos, how much time do we have here? Because I'm about to go on a rant. I'm about to expose some people, and I need some time to operate.
We got about 5-ish minutes.
You know what? 5-ish minutes. That's a real thing. I'll go with that all day. That made a lot of sense. I like where your style's at. If you guys have been listening to the show the past couple of days, you know that I'm a fantasy football junkie, right? And I love talking about it. Brent Martineau's actually been talking about it a lot more than I have this year because let's be honest, everybody. You guys know what you get with me, right? You get production, you get bragginess, and when I'm 6-0 right now, well, it's hard to say a lot of negative about my fantasy football team. Yes, I talk about Kyler Murray way too much. No, Kyler Murray is not the quarterback here at the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's Gardner Minshew's job. And I see you guys in my mentions on Twitter saying, what's up with the infatuation of Kyler Murray? I see you, Jax Bubbler, the guy from Wisconsin. I see you, hating on Kyler Murray all the time. Please understand. I think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback, but he's the quarterback of my fantasy football team. He's the captain of my football team. So, yeah, I got to cheer for him, just like I did with Lamar Jackson last year. Have I said one thing about Lamar Jackson this year? Doubt it. Brent has, because Brent's got him. I think he spent a third-round pick on him. How's that working out for you? So, anyways, we were talking yesterday a little bit, and obviously this is a work fantasy football league, and I want to bring you guys in on this because believe me when I say that if I see something wrong in the world or whatever is going on in society, I'll be the first one to call that thing out, right? And believe me when I say that I'm putting my job on the line right now because what's going on right now, this involves me, my coworkers, my bosses, and maybe even some higher ups I don't even know about. This is a conspiracy that I'm going to blow the door wide open on. So yesterday, I tried to make a trade. And it was with, a great friend of the show. She works with Action Sports Jax, Olivia Tasley. Great girl. Actually sat next to her at an AEW event as we both covered it. I thought she was a great girl, but it turns out that she is a wolf in fashionable clothing. And here's why. Yesterday, I tried to trade her Josh Allen and Mark Andrews for Travis Kelce and CeeDee Lamb. She doesn't have a quarterback right now. She was going on the waiver wire. She was going with Carson Wentz as her starting quarterback. She is a quarterback away from having a fantastic team. And I said, you know what, Olivia? I like you. You're a good girl. Let me go ahead and facilitate that quarterback need by trading for Josh Allen. Now, yes, Mark Andrews has underachieved last year, but y'all got a short memory if you think Mark Andrews isn't a good tight end. So that was the trade. Josh Allen, Mark Andrews for CeeDee Lamb and Travis Kelce. I bring it up on the show. What does Brent Martineau do? Makes fun of me, says I'm in the wrong, doesn't even give me a chance to defend myself. And this is why I'm talking about it right now, because I know what side Brent Martineau's on right now, and it's not my side. Like I said, this is a conspiracy, and it goes higher up. So Brent Martineau made fun of me. Kuz, what did you say about it? You weren't that turned off about it.
I thought that trade was okay, and then we started talking about how she had picked up Carson Wentz, and the last 2 weeks his numbers were decent, so that's kind of where we left it.
But it wasn't such a crazy trade where I was like, whoa, I mean, you should have done, you see where I was coming from, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now, I think you're neutral. I don't have a good read on you quite yet, but you're like Switzerland right now. So with that being said, we're all good Coos. So imagine my shock and my in complete disarray when I look at the trade wire this morning, because keep in mind, I'm running this fantasy football team, and I see that my boss, the guy who brought me on in the first place, the guy who's writing the paychecks, Nick, we call him, Nick has traded, and this is not an exaggeration, Nick has traded Russell Wilson, probably the MVP coming up here the NFL season, has traded Russell Wilson for, get ready for it, Tyler Higbee, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's where I'm sitting right now. And I can't help but be reminded of a famous quote from the movie Pool Hall Junkies, where Christopher Walken, his character, is talking about how the lions and the hyenas, they live together. And every once in a while, the king of the jungle, me, obviously, I'm a fantasy football champion last year, going to win it this year again. Me being the lion is getting circled right now by hyenas. Brent Martineau, Olivia Tasley, Boss Yannick, they're all circling. You know why? Because I'm a guy. And people mistake my kindness for, what's up, Coos? We are? Mistake my kindness for arrogance. So with that being said, I'm just going to say it right now. I see you hyenas. I see you guys circling in. And you better not, listen to me, you better not pray. Oh, I guess you better pray. You better pray. Sorry, I'm a little emotional right now. You better pray that I don't see Olivia in the finals, I don't see Nick in the finals, or I don't see Brent Martineau in the finals. Because at the end of the day, sometimes a lion's got to remind you who he is. And I'm getting pushed to my limit. I'm getting cornered right now. And I'm about to remind everybody what the lion does. All right, now that got vented out and everything like that, the conspiracy has been blown. Let's switch back to UFC a little bit. And listen, we had great golf conversation yesterday, right? And I was here for it. I didn't take part in it. I listened. I ate my lunch. But since Brent Martineau is on his way back from Stream Song right now, and I'm not the most avid golfer, and some people like to call me Thanos, right? Because I believe in balance. I believe if we talk about golf on one day, well, then guess what? I talk pro wrestling or UFC the next day. Simple as that. And since that being the case, and since Brent's not here right now, I'm going to my second interview of the day, let's just say, regarding MMA. And this guy needs no introduction. I think he's one of the biggest journalists in the world in any sport, but obviously you know him from UFC, and you know him from some NBA talk, too, a little bit. He's on ESPN. You can see him with Daniel Cormier. You can see him with Chael Sonnen. We are happily joined right now by the one and only Ariel Helwani. Ariel, man, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? First of all, what a promo you were cutting. Who has upset you? What was going on over there? I just walked into the fire over there. Is that a shoot or is that a work?
No, Ariel, that is 100% shoot right now, man. And I apologize.
Wow.
I apologize if the oven got turned up a little too hot. It's fantasy football related. The hyenas are circling right now, and I'm a lion, and sometimes I got to show the hyenas what I can do.
Now, I was told, speaking of pro wrestling, that you were having me on to talk a little AEW. Am I right or am I wrong? Are we talking AEW or are we talking we're in Jacksonville, right? We're not talking AEW?
Listen, Ariel, man, I know you can do it all just like I can. I brought you on to talk UFC 254, but I might have a couple All Elite Wrestling questions for you if you don't mind.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's talk UFC.
All right, cool. So check it out. So we got UFC 254, this Saturday. I believe a 2 o'clock start time for the main event, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Correct. So 2 o'clock
the main
start
card.
time.
Card. Main event will be around 5.
Okay, great. Great, thank you. Yep. So we got the main event going on 5. And listen, I could talk mixed martial arts and UFC with you all day. I don't have that much time, unfortunately. So we got to talk about Gaethje and Khabib, right? And when we talk about Gaethje and Khabib, if I'm trying to explain it to a casual MMA fan, I explain it like this. Khabib is probably the greatest wrestler in the world in terms of mixed martial arts, right? Now, he doesn't have an All-American championship. He doesn't have a gold medal, but I'll tell you what he has. An impressive undefeated record. And to me, Justin Gaethje is like Brad Pitt in Fight Club when that boss came downstairs to punch him in the face numerous times, and Brad Pitt just kept smiling and saying, "Is that all you got?" And it broke the mob boss, and Brad Pitt got his way. Like, Justin Gaethje is not human sometimes when you watch him fight. So you have two guys who know exactly who they are right now and what they're going to bring to the cage. How great is this fight going to be?
Okay, well, first of all, I was with you and this is going to blow your mind probably, I was with you up until the Fight Club analogy because, believe it or not, I never saw Fight Club. How about that? Wow. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I've devoted my life to covering MMA and I never saw Fight Club. Unbelievable.
So now,
anyway.
Is this like, no, you just can't sidetrack that, Ariel. Is that a personal choice or you just haven't got around to seeing it?
No, I just haven't gone around. I mean, I'm not like holding out if it's available and I can watch it. I never got around to it. I don't know why. It's a weird thing. It's a weird quirk in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. So that and I love Brad Pitt. He's tremendous. And Edward Norton as well. I think it was in it.
Absolutely.
So it was. I mean, like you set it up. It's a tremendous fight because you have, in my opinion, the most dominant fighter not only today but of all time in UFC history. Khabib is 28-0. He's trying to get to 30-0 before potentially retiring. He's only lost one round in his UFC career officially, and that was round 3 against Conor McGregor. And the guy is amazing because, as you said, he's a tremendous wrestler. He's a tremendous grappler. We know what he wants to do. Everyone knows what he wants to do, and yet he continues to do it. And he's so good at what he does. He is so dominant, so strong, so powerful. But I think, truthfully, that Justin Gaethje will be his toughest opponent in the UFC to date. Why? Justin Gaethje is a former All-American from Northern Colorado University. He's a Division I wrestler. He has incredible striking skills. He has power in his hands. If he could keep this fight in the middle of the octagon and not get pushed up against the cage and not get taken down, if he could keep it in the center of the octagon, use his leg kicks to keep Khabib at bay, and then we talk about a striking match, a kickboxing match, he's a better striker than Khabib. And we talk about his power, he has more power than Khabib. dangerous things will happen. So that's the key to this fight. And I think considering his wrestling background and considering just how tough Justin Gaethje is, he has a legit chance in this fight.
And you're absolutely right, Ariel. And listen, and I talked about the Chael a little bit earlier on the show. We had Chael Sonnen on as well. So it's a little double dipping in MMA.
You had Chael already. What do you need me
Ariel,
for?
because I'm talking wrestling, I'm talking NBA too with you a little bit, man. So you can do it all, man. I got respect for you. But I think you're absolutely right in terms of Justin Gaethje's skill set. And if you go back to his last fight against Tony Ferguson, which was on a little bit of a short notice, listen, he passed with flying colors. Everyone is afraid of Tony Ferguson because of the violence that he brings. Justin Gaethje stared that down and said, bring it on, and obviously you saw that outcome. I want to go back to 2 fights ago, and I talked with Chael this a little bit. I want to go back to Al Iaquinta, and I want to go back to Khabib. To me, that fight was very telling because in the 5th round, and keep in mind, this was a short notice fight as well, but in the last round of that fight, Al Iaquinta started jabbing Khabib up a little bit. I don't want to say Khabib was tired or anything like that, and Al Iaquinta is a tough dude in his own right, a great wrestler, but the fact that Al Iaquinta got off a little bit on Khabib kind of leads me to believe, well, and with all due respect to Al Iaquinta, Justin Gaethje, I think, is on a different level than, Al is. So with that being said, I mean, should I put so much stake into that fight right now? Or should I just say, well, look what happened to Dustin Poirier, and I should move on?
Well, I remind you that Dustin Poirier actually tagged Khabib in the 2nd round and seemed to have rocked him a little bit. And so, yes, there are openings there. Khabib's team will tell you that he was just playing around with Iaquinta at that point and just kind of wanted to show off his improved striking. That's what his team will tell you. I don't know if I buy that. I think Iaquinta did a great job on 24 hours notice. I don't know if, 1 + 1 = 2 here, but here's the big difference. Gaethje's a better wrestler than both of those guys, and he's just so tough. The guy doesn't know how to give up. And if he keeps this into that sort of calm, cool, and collected fight that he's had in his last 4 fights, and in particular against Tony Ferguson back in May, I really do think he has a chance. The massive key in all of this, and I'm sure Chael said the same, don't get the fight up against the cage. If you're up against the cage, it's elementary at this point. That's where Khabib does his best work. You got to keep the fight in the center of the octagon. You got to control the octagon and make him fight you there.
Ariel, we've had Dana White on before, and listen, I understand his job as a promoter. You got to hype everything up. I mean, obviously that's your job. If you can't hype stuff up, you're probably not that good at your job. With that being said, though, on Monday he said it was trending as it's gonna be the biggest fight of all time. Now, let's be honest. In the States, when you air this thing, the main card starts at 2 p.m. You got college football to worry about. Obviously, I'm going to tune into that as well. One could wonder how the numbers are going to do in the States. And one could also wonder, let's keep in mind here, I'm an MMA purist. I fight myself. Obviously, I'm going to watch this fight. I'm excited for this fight. But you have 2 blue-collar guys who don't really give you the sound bites per se. They let their skills do the talking. Do you see this fight trending? I mean, obviously around the world we're talking about here, trending as the biggest pay-per-view of all time, or are those numbers going to be a little inflated, you think?
No, I don't. I mean, and that's just me being honest. You said it. You're going up against college football in the fall, the return of Big Ten. There's a lot right now on television as far as sports are concerned. It's an odd time. It's 2 p.m. Fans aren't used to that. I keep getting texts up until today. Is it really at 2 p.m.? Why the change? People are a little bit confused because it rarely happens for the UFC. And you're talking about like the biggest numbers in UFC history, pay-per-view buys, like 2.4, 2.5, Conor Khabib. There's just no way. If that happens, I would be utterly blown away. I'd be very, very, very surprised, extremely surprised. That's not taking anything away from this fight. I hope it does great numbers. It should do great numbers. But all those factors combined, look, Dana's going off social media numbers and impressions and things like that, and that doesn't equal pay-per-view buys. We all know this. Like, just because a video gets 2 million views or whatever doesn't mean that 2 million, so I get what he's doing. He's trying to put it out there. He's trying to get people talking. We're talking about it. But no, I do not think this will be the highest grossing pay-per-view in UFC history.
Joined by ESPN's Ariel Helwani. Ariel, I got one more MMA question, and then we'll get into the fun stuff real quick. But you mentioned Conor McGregor a little bit, and right now there's – I don't even know if it's even official yet, but it's Conor McGregor supposedly and Dustin Poirier. And, being an MMA fan like I am and being a fighter like myself, I understand that sometimes these things can fall through. And I also understand that if you're Conor McGregor right now, you're going to fight as the last event on any pay-per-view card. You're not going to agree to say, well, you know what, we'll let some champions fight, after me. Like, that's not how it works with Conor McGregor. So I guess my question to you is there a lot of legs right now to this Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier fight, or are we going to have some trouble in terms of what card do you put it on, where do you put it on, where's it going to be, and all that stuff?
It's not a done deal, but it is trending in that direction. January 23rd of next year, and it would be the main event. Yeah, there's no talk of anyone going above it. I mean, Conor's bigger than any belt, so it would be crazy to put someone above him.
Gotcha. Okay, so now let's get into the fun stuff. AEW, you mentioned it, Ariel, and I'm sure you watch it just as much you watch, that other network over there, too. I can't really talk about the other network because I'm not paid to say AEW, but it helps to know Tony Khan, you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about AEW, man, we're about a year into it now. What are your thoughts about it, Ariel?
Yeah, I like when there's competition. I like when there's another product. It's fun having AEW and NXT going head-to-head. I will say that I don't watch it as religiously as I once did, but I have my finger on the pulse. I know what's going on. I think it's good. It reminds me of the old Raw Nitro days, and I wish them the best. I think competition breeds success. I think when WWE and even when UFC didn't have competition, you see them getting a little stagnant, a little stale, and I think the type of leaders at WWE and UFC are similar in the sense that when someone's nipping at their heels, trying to come after them, they ramp things up, and that means a better product for the fans, bigger fights, all that stuff. So I wish him the best. I've never met Tony. I've never talked to him. Seems like a great guy. Love JR, love Jericho, love some of the names there. And I think they've done especially a great job in the pandemic with their product, with their looks on TV. I think they're doing good things. Well, and you said it. And to me, listen, there's a lot to take away from AEW. To echo your point a little bit, I think the greatest thing right now that it's competition. And with competition, obviously the results, they get elevated a little bit. So I think it's good for wrestling fans and wrestling purists out there alike. My question to you about Chris Jericho, though, you talk about a guy who I think he's on his third or fourth decade right now of wrestling and he continues to reinvent himself. I guess just where does Chris Jericho stand in terms of, some of the greatest of all time, let's just call it, because for what that guy's been able to do decade after decade and reinvent himself, it's a rare thing. And now he's in AEW. Obviously, he's probably the biggest name in there. So how much of a fan are you of Chris Jericho? Oh, Le Champion. He's the man. He's a Canadian legend, and he deserves all the bubbly that he can get. Y2J was incredible. Lionheart was incredible. I got a chance to interview him last year for the first time, and that was a great thrill. His dad was a hockey legend. Jericho is one of the all-time greats in the history of the sport, a great representative, or of the business, I should say. And what impresses me most about him is that he is able to evolve and change his persona, change his gimmick, and continue to catch lightning in a bottle, whether it's Lionheart or Y2J, and then the list stuff, and now Le Champion. The guy is just an amazing mind. So I'm a huge, huge admirer of his. Fantastic. All right, I got one last question for you. This is NBA related. I know you're a big NBA fan, and it's so awesome to watch you talk about it because you can tell you're super passionate about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan, and you better tell your Raptors to keep your grubby little hands off Giannis Antetokounmpo because I'm not going to handle him going to Toronto, all right? So that's a little caveat right there. But my question to you, Ariel, is what are some of your biggest takeaways from the bubble? Because we had so many stories, and it seemed like the bubble was a perfect showcase for guys like Luka, guys like Jamal Murray, and guys even like the Toronto Raptors and Nick Nurse and the job that he's been able to do. What are some of the things that you take away from that NBA bubble this season? First of all, the fact that, the NBA pulled it off and there were no positive tests. You'll recall when they were talking about going there and the numbers were rising in that area, Orange County in Florida, people were saying, you're crazy, you're reckless, all this stuff. And the fact that they got no positive tests was an incredible victory. And then the competition was great. No one took it not very seriously. No one was just all all right, we're going to go out there and just kind of go through the motions. No, you could see that the competition was played at its highest. And honestly, what really bothered me throughout, especially at the beginning, was people saying that the winner deserves an asterisk, that it's not a real championship. Screw that. I think the Lakers deserve 2 championships for what they went through. Mentally and physically, what they had to endure being in that quote-unquote bubble. I know they were living good and they're athletes and all that stuff, but still, man, it is a tough thing to keep going back and doing it over when you're used to playing a certain way in a certain environment. I give them so much credit. The Heat were a tremendous story. The whole thing was a joy, and it was very sad when it ended because usually when the league, when the season ends, we know that, then we're getting the draft and then summer league and whatnot. Now we don't even know when they're coming back. Is it MLK Jr. Day? Is it Christmas? Is it March? And so I'm a little sad about the state of things, but of course we are sad about everything going on in the world. And I just think that what the NBA did, and the NHL, by the way, was nothing short of amazing. Absolutely. Well, we don't talk about the NHL that much because the Tampa Bay Lightning won, and even though I'm in Jack, so I'm not the biggest Tampa Bay Lightning fan ever. One final question for you, and obviously I think you're a Toronto Raptors fan, correct? Raptors and Knicks. I mean, grew up a Knicks fan, but
Okay.
now I'm an unbiased sideline reporter, so I just kind of keep it real.
I got you. Well, I guess, to echo the Raptors question a little bit here, I mean, how impressed are you with what Nick Nurse has done? And, I think, sometimes I think of, the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, maybe Steve Kerr's a great coach, but you also got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson, you had Kevin Durant. Of course you guys were going to win. But I think, teams like the Heat now, and obviously the Raptors, they're ushering in a new era where it's you know what? You don't have to have those three big stars to be successful. If you have great coaching and great camaraderie on your team, you can go far. Would you agree with that?
100%, and it doesn't start with the great coaching. It starts with the great leadership. Masai Ujiri is the real key. He changed the entire culture there. No one wanted to play for the Raptors. And by the way, and I'm not joking here, someone who deserves a lot of credit is Drake. Hiring Drake as their quote-unquote global ambassador made the Raptors cool, made people know, all right, this is a good place to play. It's not Siberia. It's not freezing Canada. They're actually hip. I'm not joking.
No, I hear you.
A very smart business move on their part, because all those players, they love Drake. I love Drake.
Of course.
He does. I mean, he's a tremendous talent. So having him sitting courtside and representing the team was brilliant. Then Masai, turning them almost into the Spurs North, and the culture that they have, and the scouting and the drafting, the picks that they've had. I mean, not some of them aren't lottery picks, but they're finding guys like OG Anunoby, finding those diamonds in the rough. Incredible stuff, right? And then you have the cojones to fire the coach of the year in Dwayne Casey and hire his assistant who's never been a head coach before after you had a pretty good run in the playoffs, and then make the trade for one of the most popular Raptors of all time, DeMar DeRozan, for Kawhi when you aren't really sure if he's going to stick around or even report. It's just an incredible thing what he's done. And Nurse has turned into the kind of coach that you want to play for, and also the kind of coach who likes to take risks. I remember in December, they were down 25 to the Mavs in the fourth quarter, and he did a full court press. You never see full court press. In the finals, you saw him do a box and one. You never see a box and one. And so I love the way he thinks outside of the box. I love that they have this culture, this community, this camaraderie. It's a beautiful thing what they've done with that team. And when you consider where they've come from, when they were the Purple Dinosaur team playing at the cavernous Sky Dome, it's really an incredible success story.
MMA, NBA, professional wrestling, the guy can talk it all, man. Ariel Helwani, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks, my man. Talk to you soon.
Have a good one. Kuz, Driving Dish Podcast, would you agree with what he said there about the Toronto Raptors? I thought he made some great points. And as much as I don't I like Drake. I respect Drake. I don't like him on the sidelines talking crap to Milwaukee Bucks 2 years ago, but I get it. You agree with him?
I do.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Definitely, it's a whole change. I'm sad you didn't ask him about the new coaches.
Oh, that's my bad. I mean, we only had so much time. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make your job easier, sir.
I know. It's yeah.
But no, I mean, he brings up, and listen, we were talking UFC, but one of the greatest points in that conversation was the fact that, listen, the Toronto Raptors kind of became cool a little bit. And a lot of that had to do with Drake. It's crazy how that worked out because, listen, no one was talking about the Toronto Raptors before Drake. I'll be honest. Kuz, you talking about him? I mean, you had Vince Carter, but even then, it was like Siberia. So I thought that was a great point. I've never been to Toronto. Always wanted to go. Drake says it's great. I bet it is, man. Maybe we'll have to do a little field trip there for ESPN 690 in Toronto one day to cover a Maple Leafs game or a Raptors game. Hey, when we get back, I break down who's going to get Trevor Lawrence. I've devised a formula. I'm a mad scientist. Wait till you see what I've uncovered. More on ESPN 690 when we get back.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mix of clouds and sun, some scattered showers with brief downpours at times today. Highs between 80 and 85, dropping tonight into the upper 60s with a few lingering showers. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Hurry, Beard's Buy One, Get One wedding band sale ends this Saturday. Attention homeowners, the real estate market is changing fast. Eviction moratorium and forbearance will soon be no more, and we're going to see a flood of houses hit the market, potentially driving home prices downward. Don't wait, be safe, and protect your hard-earned equity. Call the Edge Group right now and sell your home for all cash. The Edge Group will make you an all-cash offer, and they can close in as little as 5 days. The people that sit on the fence could lose tens of thousands of dollars. If you're even thinking about selling your house, call the Edge Group and find out how much your house is worth. There's absolutely no risk, no obligation, no high-pressure sales. It doesn't matter if your house is old, new, sparkling, or needs a new roof. The Edge Group will buy your house for all cash. Their direct line is 904-932-1840. Don't get caught in a down market. Call the Edge Group and get your home sold fast and for the most money. That's 904-932-1840 or text CASH to 41404. That's CASH to 41404.
Home Builders Institutional leader for career training in the building industry and provides students the skills and experience they need. HBI training programs are taught in local communities across the country to youth, veterans, displaced workers, and other underserved populations. These programs do more than just provide job skills. They also build character and self-esteem, helping to provide students with the skills they need to succeed on the job and in life. Learn more at hbi.org.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our Best Wellness program. And welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com. Back to school also means back to Friday Night Football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
Join ESPN 690 in Shopping the 904. When you help businesses here on the First Coast, you're really helping all of us. And it keeps our local economy going. That means jobs. 2020 has been a really tough year, especially for locally owned businesses. And you can make a difference when you shop local. So if you live in St. John's, Duval, Baker, Clay, Nassau, or other surrounding counties, shop local. Shop the 904.
Shop the 904.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at Homestead Air Reserve Base or Patrick Air Force Base, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Home is meant to be our safe place, but heart attacks and strokes don't stay home. Don't avoid the ER out of anxiety. Don't die of doubt. Don't stay silent, and don't stay home. If you have an emergency, call 911 immediately. When seconds count, the hospital is the safest place to be. Visit heart.org/don't die of doubt. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, locally supported by
Mayo Clinic.
Oh, hey, boss.
Hey, what you doing there, Sunshine?
Well, look at this. I took that plug-and-play alarm system from that house we broke into last night.
Okay, what'd you do that for? Those things are worthless.
Yeah, pretty much. Simple to install, simple for us to bypass.
Simply simple.
Yeah. Too bad Safe Touch isn't that simple.
Tell me about it. That would make my life less stressful. No two-way communicator, no 45-second or less response time.
Yeah, no video monitoring, no Safe Touch app.
Jeez, every time I turn around, Safe Touch is up in their game. Ooh, that Lester Jackson. Look at this thing. Why can't everything in life be this simple?
Well, if that were the case, we wouldn't have our Crooks or Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Yep.
crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, things may have gotten tougher lately. You're probably looking for savings wherever you can find them. So you may be surprised to hear that most small businesses overpay for workers' compensation insurance. Many insurance companies just aren't set up to give small businesses the savings they deserve. But Pi Insurance was created to change that. We serve small businesses exclusively, and we can save you up to 30%. You owe it to yourself to find out if you're overpaying. Just get a quote right now from your computer or smartphone at trypi.com. Pi Insurance is a no-brainer with our simple online experience and outstanding service. We're rated excellent on Trustpilot by our customers, who tell us Pi is fast, affordable, and easy to work with. As easy as pie, in fact. Savings matter now more than ever. Isn't it worth taking 3 minutes to find out if you're overpaying for workers' comp? Ask your insurance agent for Pi Insurance or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
If you're getting married soon, here's how you can save thousands.
Buy any ladies' wedding band and get the men's band free. This sale absolutely ends Saturday.
Yes, free. And only at Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's Diamonds has brought in extra inventory just for the sale.
All stackable, all right-hand rings, all eternity bands, and wedding bands.
All at the guaranteed lowest price.
And it's only at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jack's Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He signs the promised land. Touchdown FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
15 to 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown to Mario Terry. He is scary. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line.
Knowles win. Knowles win. Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long. Right here on your home for Florida State football.
Hear the Florida State Seminoles on ESPN 690 thanks to Donato's Pizza. Every piece is important.
Brent Martineau.
How many push-ups did you do in 3 minutes? Did you try the challenge?
Austin Lane.
I don't need lactic acid build up when I'm in fight camp. Brent, you kidding me? Take my word for it. More than you.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
You know, I agree that talent is there. You know, we just got to be able to continue to put them in the right spots. And when they're in the right spots, we got to make plays. But, you know, I think we have some talented guys on this defense. We just got to continue to get better. We're just young at this point in time.
Well, first of all, that was Todd Wash, right? I'm sorry, Coach Todd Wash, yep. So what am I, 2 for 3 today on the voice guessing? Not bad. Yeah, you guys are young right now because, well, you got rid of the older guys. You got rid of A.J. Boye. You got rid of Calais Campbell. You got rid of Ronnie Harrison. So, yep, you're pretty young right now. I don't know, Kuz. Do I take the we're young excuse? Like, can I accept that? Kuz, you've known me for what now? 2.5 years or so? We're homies. Do you think I would accept that too young excuse?
Yeah, I think you're cool with it.
You think I'm cool with it?
No.
You think I'm cool with it? Yeah, no, I'm definitely not okay with it. Listen, I'm not okay with it. I've been very adamant about this as well. I don't think COVID-19 is an excuse this year for coaches, and I don't think youth should ever be an excuse for coaches as well. Like, yeah, you have a young team, but that's by design. Like, this is what you guys wanted. And now you're 1-5. I don't know what to tell you. You know? Like, I guess you can't have it both ways. Like, you can't sit here and cut all your players that, you know, aren't quote-unquote buying in, and you go with a younger guy who seems to fit the mold a little better, and then you can't tell me, like, well, we like what we got. Let's just wait and see what happens here, but we like what we got. And then it's 1-5, and I don't like what you got, and then you use the excuse that they're too young. You can't have it both ways. So either tell me in the beginning of the season and go, you know what, guys, we're young. let's go ahead and temper expectations a little bit. All right. I don't necessarily like what we have. All right. I think we got some pretty good cogs here in this machine, but it's going to take some time. It's not what I heard. I heard that we like our locker room. It reminds me of that New Orleans Saints locker room that Doug Marrone coached at, yada, 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 yada. So you can't have it both ways. 1-5, all right? And I see you, everybody out there on Twitter, and I see you guys in Facebook, and I see you in the Jaguars groups that I'm a part of, that I've been asked to join, and I don't really moderate or anything. I just post the show every once in a while to boost that viewership. But I see you guys out there, and I see everybody talking about right now tanking for Trevor Lawrence. And I see everybody talking about how this team should milk it in right now, throw it in, and say, you know what, let's go after Trevor Lawrence. And I see everybody saying how Trevor Lawrence is going to be like a once-in-a-generational type of quarterback. I say two things. I say, number one, pump your brakes because Justin Fields hasn't played yet. And number two, I say, is Trevor Lawrence going to make the difference? Is he going to be the saving grace that puts your team to a Super Bowl? Because I've said it before. The last quarterback to be taken first in every year of the draft that has won a Super Bowl is Peyton Manning. And that was, I believe, 1999, if I'm not mistaken. So that's over 20 years ago. Think about how many quarterbacks have been taken. Then think about how many quarterbacks are those who have been taken first. You know, the first quarterback taken. In the last 20-something years, only one quarterback has won a Super Bowl. So what does that tell you? It tells you that sometimes the best quote-unquote quarterback supposedly in the draft isn't always the answer. Now, I'm not going to be naive and I think Trevor Lawrence is an average quarterback. Yeah, I've seen Trevor Lawrence play football. The guy looks like he's got it all, right? He's got athleticism. He's got the arm. He's got the leadership. He's not a loser. All he does is pretty much win. Like, the guy's got all the intangibles, and everybody rant and raves about him, all right? So I'm not sitting here trying to be a Trevor Lawrence denier. I'm just saying I'm not going to go out of my way to try to tank for a season on a quarterback who maybe wins you a Super Bowl, but as history has shown, probably not won't win you a Super Bowl. So with that being said, I broke down. And listen, we added the Vikings to the list today, right? Because what happened? They shut Daniel Hunter down. They trade away Yannick Ngakoue. Mike Zimmer, supposedly the defensive guru that he is, just throwing the towel and say, you know what? I'm good at defense, but not this year. Trevor Lawrence, come on down. Let's see what you got. Okay? So there are teams right now that are making plays to get Trevor Lawrence. It's evident. Now, once again, and I'm going to echo what I said in the first hour of this show, the guys in that locker room, those players, I don't care if it's the star player making $20 million a year or if it's that last guy on the roster who's on the bubble. Every guy in that locker room, I don't care the team, they want to win. They don't want to turn on their radios and hear me talking crap about them. They don't want to read the newspapers if newspapers are still a thing. They don't want to go on Twitter and see everybody making fun of them because they can't win any games. Like, players don't want to go through that. So despite what expectations are for fans out there wanting Trevor Lawrence or wanting them to tank, I'm here to tell you right now because I should know firsthand, players aren't buying that. All right? So the players' pride and their egos can apologize to you when they go out there and win games and screw up the Trevor Lawrence draft. With that being said, I did a little research, right? And before I get started here, here's a little caveat and here's a little background information about this research. I looked at every single NFL team that right now, realistically, there's a possibility they can get Trevor Lawrence, depending on record and whatnot, okay? I then took those teams and I broke down every one of their schedules, okay? Now, that took me a little time, about an hour, but I care about this show, all right? I want to make it a good show. So I took every one of the schedules, and with my brain, I basically said, well, do they have a chance to win this game or not? So that's going to be called could-win games. Every team I'm going to say has some could-win games to them. And that essentially states, you know what? In a perfect world, they can win this game. Now, don't get me wrong. This is football. There's always going to be upsets. There's always going to be things you don't see coming. There's always going to be injuries. Like, I understand that. But I'm just saying from what the rosters that I saw today that are contrived and the schedules that I saw today, I broke down the could-win games. So let's get started now. And this is basically, I'm going by the odds that Vegas has these guys, drafting Trevor Lawrence. A little bit of odds to say, which team's going to finish worse in the NFL. And let's start from the top and let's work our way down a little bit to the very, first pick of the draft as Vegas kind of has it right now. The first team that's actually mentioned, surprisingly, is Los Angeles Chargers. I didn't even do my due diligence of breaking this team down, of their schedule and whatnot, because at the end of it, they're too talented of a roster right now to get the first pick of the draft. So with that being said, Chargers, no. Yeah, I get it. They're 1-4 right now, I believe. Doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. There's no way. Now, and keep in mind, they got Justin Herbert as well, who they seem to love, as they should, playing right now like a Rookie of the Year candidate, if you will. But the Chargers, too talented. They're going to win some games. Didn't even break them down. Next, which is a little more feasible, we have, Kuz has some ties to this team. Playing tonight, by the way, the Philadelphia Eagles. 1-4-1. I'm convinced right now that they are way too talented of a roster to be, to finish first right now in the league in terms of the draft. It's not going to happen. They have a lot of injuries right now. Carson Wentz is playing better. And when I broke down their games that they could win, and once again, these are could-win games, 5, right? There's 5 games that they theoretically could win. That's way too many games that theoretically could win to get the first pick of the draft. So Eagles, we'll see you later. They still might win the division with a 1-4-1 record right now, in case you're not looking. Next team, the Washington football team. This one makes a little more sense. Kyle Allen, not the guy. Dwayne Haskins, you move past from him. Roster is decimated by injuries right now. Defense, is also decimated by injuries. I mean, the whole team right now, Washington, it's a mess to say the least, right? And keep in mind, and this is also a metric I love to use about this whole drill here, this whole thing that I'm going through. We live in the NFL right now, it's all about offense, right? Well, in almost every offensive metric right now, the Washington football team is either dead last or top 3 in dead last. So that's a problem. They only average 275 yards a game. Quarterbacks are averaging like 350 a game. And the team in general, rushing and passing, is averaging 275 yards a game. Yes, right now defenses are struggling. This is an offensive-driven league, and the football team does not have that. I broke down their schedule. Theoretically, 4, and this is generous, 4 could win games. So the Washington football team, they're in the sweepstakes for sure. When we come back here on ESPN 690, I break down the other teams and I say the Jaguars' chances of getting Trevor Lawrence and finishing with the worst record in the NFL. More when we come back on ESPN 690.
Nathan here from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, your Silverado headquarters. We've got over 50 Silverados in stock and ready to go. And during Truck Month, take up to $7,000 off a new Silverado, plus get a $1,000 accessory allowance to customize your new truck. At Gordon Chevy, you'll find a huge selection of new Chevys, no bull pricing, and we always do our best to get you out in your new car in about an hour. Find us 5 miles south of the Orange Park Mall on the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard or online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Don't miss the gun show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the gun show.
Heart attacks and strokes don't stay home. When seconds count, call 911. The hospital is the safest place to be. Visit heart.org/don't die of doubt. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, locally supported by
Flagler Health Plus.
Everyone here knows Diamonds Direct is the place to go for the best diamonds at the best prices. But did you know that savvy buyers from as far away as Atlanta, Tampa, Orlando, and other cities now come here to Jacksonville to buy their diamonds? These high-end shoppers have discovered that Diamonds Direct has one of America's best selection of large, rare diamonds, from 3 carats to 10 carats, all certified by the GIA, the most reputable and most trusted gem lab in the world. Because of Diamonds Direct's international connections and tremendous buying power, we're one of only a handful of jewelry stores in the U.S. that carries a large selection of rare GIA diamonds. In fact, Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection includes a stunning array of high-end Riviera necklaces, 20-carat tennis bracelets, and an extraordinary collection of rare precious gemstones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and even the really hard-to-find fancy yellow diamonds. Come see why Diamonds Direct right here in Jacksonville is the destination for high-end shoppers all over America. Extraordinary selection, impeccable quality, and unmatched value. Diamonds Direct, off Town Center Parkway next to the Hyatt.
This message is brought to you by Community First Credit Union.
Here's an idea. Let's make some plans. Plans to do all the things we've been wanting to do. And let's put those plans on solid financial ground. So if you have questions about your family or business finances, we have answers. Answers that can work for you and everyone in Jacksonville.
To get started, text ANSWERS to 797979 or visit communityfirstfl.org to schedule an appointment. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The First Coast is booming. With interest rates at historic lows, there has never been a better time to call Brandon Ponsel and his network of local experts at Jack's Coastal Homes. You can visit them at jackscoastalhomes.com or call them today at 904-206-9480 and mention ESPN 690 to receive up to $2,500 towards your closing cost. Need to sell? Powered by the unparalleled technology of EXP, Brandon will guarantee the sale of your home in under 60 days or he'll sell it for free. The First Coast market is on the move. Are you?
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And your appliance is breaking down as soon as they're out of warranty. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we can't help with the first two, but we've got the third one covered. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have been repairing appliances for more than 35 years, with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For quality repair at a price that's fair, trust Atlantic Coast Appliance. AtlanticCoastAppliance.com. That's AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
For the ones working tirelessly to keep their coworkers safe. For the ones rising to new challenges. For the ones rebuilding stronger than before. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, safety recovery guides, and 24/7 support. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less, 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
ESPN 690 wants you to shop the 904. And by doing that, you keep most of the money and jobs right here on the First Coast. Plus, local businesses give our community its uniqueness and character that makes living on the First Coast so great.
Shop the 904! It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know if you've been listening and watching ESPN for a while. I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio. Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting. That's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, the Raiders putting 5 players, including 4 starting offensive linemen, on the reserve COVID-19 list after all 5 were deemed high-risk contacts today. Tackle Trent Brown already on the COVID list, so Las Vegas could potentially be without all 5 starting O-linemen Sunday against the Buccaneers. That game moved from 8:20 to 4:05 Eastern by the NFL. Seattle at Arizona, now the Sunday night game. The Seahawks, among several teams expressing interest in receiver Antonio Brown, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Brown's 8-game personal conduct policy-related suspension eligible to end after Week 8. Seattle would be a good landing spot for Brown, who has had a handful of off-field issues, believes our Keyshawn Johnson.
Because they have things that are in place in Seattle, and they believe helping guys as much as they can. And I think there's some leadership in Seattle, not just in the football field, but in the organization, that certainly could help a guy like Antonio Brown.
Keyshawn of Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. The NFL is also investigating a sexual assault allegation made against Brown.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service. Parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
He obviously he's not in the building. We got to wait 6 days for all the protocol stuff to kick through. He's able to be in meetings by Zoom, and what we see is a real long athlete, has the ability to rush the passer. Obviously, we were excited about him when we signed him in the offseason. He's had a little time off, so it's going to take him some time to get back into shape. But, once he gets back in here and gets working out, I think we're going to see the player that we signed in free agency, that's ability to play on the line of scrimmage and affect the quarterback.
Jacksonville's Jaguars defensive coordinator Todd Wash talking about, newly signed, formerly retired, defensive end. Well, we'll call him defensive end. I think that's what he's going to be playing here. Defensive lineman in general. Aaron Lynch. And keep in mind, Aaron Lynch, he brings a pretty impressive resume. 20 sacks, 105 combined tackles. Obviously on a defensive line right now that is looking for any kind of thing to grasp at. Aaron Lynch hopefully holds that life reserver a little bit and can help him up in terms of depth, or we'll see what he's got in the tank, maybe in terms of starting. But once again, anytime you come off of a long layoff like that, you have to acclimate your body to getting back to playing football again. And who's to say how long that's going to take for Aaron Lynch? Listen, I'm never going to question anybody for walking away from the game. I think everyone's got their reasons. I think everyone, is entitled to that. I'm reminded of Chris Borland. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. Former linebacker from Wisconsin, played for the San Francisco 49ers. And when he walked away, he said it was because of his knowledge and his understanding about CTE and how the brain works. Basically, he got his teeth in some CTE knowledge, and he said, you know what, this game's not for me anymore, and he walked away. Much to the chagrin of people out there that are like, well, dude, you had a great year. Why don't you come back and at least get a new contract? Because to Chris Borland, it was more important for his health than it was making that second paycheck, which he definitely could have done. So with that being said, I'm not going to question why Aaron Lynch walked away in the beginning. But I'm going to need somebody in the Jacksonville media. And keep in mind, I'm not privileged to the interviews with players and things like that. Every once in a while, I get thrown a scrap here or there. Every once in a while, I can get Gostis on the line. We can talk some Australian stuff. But besides that, I'm not privileged yet to that type of information. So I'm going to need somebody out there, whenever it is, to go to Aaron Lynch respectfully, and say, so what's going on? What happened with you? Why? And I need to hear that answer, because it's definitely it's a crazy story from
bring you good news.
Bring it on. Let's go.
Jacksonville Jaguars
Wide
will
nine
have
defense.
Josh Lambo. They've activated him.
Okay.
And that means John Brown has been released. Sorry, John, it's not good news for him.
It's a good story for him, though.
Yeah, absolutely. They've promoted Ben Ellefson as well. Club released Josh Morrow from the exempt commissioner permission list. So there's that. And Avery Jones going on the reserve injured list. And when I saw this, I said to Stuart Weber, I said, I don't remember Avery ever being on, hurt for some time. This will be a few weeks. Could be a few weeks stint. Mm-hmm. And he missed last week's game, so obviously he's going to miss the next 2 at least. But it says a lot about him that he hasn't really been injured that much in his career. I mean, he's probably played hurt, but I don't remember him being injured much.
No, he's super dependable, man. He's made a steal, if you will. He's really dependable when it comes to playing in games, not dependable when it comes to paying me money. But once again, you know how I feel about that. Here's a real question for you that we haven't really talked about at all, and he's kind of fallen by the wayside. Rock Armstead. Do we know what's going on with Rock Armstead?
I think I saw in our feed yesterday somebody said he must have the worst case of COVID ever, and I think they were obviously tongue in cheek. I don't know. I got to ask about that. I don't know what's up with Rock Armstead. I really don't. I mean, he had been on that list and maybe still on that list forever.
Yeah,
and I don't know what's going on with him. So
I feel like that should be big. I mean, granted of how you feel about him on the depth of the running back position, but for a guy to go on this list and then essentially just get buried and not hear about him, that's a really eerie kind of thing.
Well, and you really hope that everything is okay and there's not some severe, and we might not know that, wouldn't know that anyway. They're going to protect him and his health in that front, but we've seen guys come and go on that list, guys that have tested positive, not tested positive, but were quarantined. Mm-hmm. That list has been, shrinking along the way. And so that is a good one to check into, and I'll have to do that because I kind of forgot about him, to be honest with you. And obviously James Robinson's been the story. Zigbo's eligible to come back now, too, after the hammy. And they like a Zigbo, so it'll be interesting to see if we like a Zigbo as much as they did. Last time they said they liked the running back, that was James Robinson, and we seem to like James Robinson. So that's a good thing.
So I'm not sure if you're listening to the show on your drive back from
Stream
Song.
Yeah, we listened to the whole thing. Fantastic job.
Cool. Thank you.
By the way, a shout-out once again to ESPN 690.
What's up?
And this has nothing to do with me. It's just the signal. I mean, just on the other side of Orlando. Not on the other side of Orlando. I'm not talking like the other side of Disney. I'm talking this side of Disney. We probably, probably around exit crystal clear, probably around exit 82, 84 or something. So that's, 25, 30 miles onto I-4.
Yeah. I like that,
Not
man.
bad.
That's what we call results right there. Results.
I mean, just to let you know, that place that you might want to go.
Yeah.
That place that I didn't hear them. I mean, just to let you know.
Hey, did I say I wanted to go there? What did I say to start things off with? They didn't get back to me. They're too busy tweeting about Mo Southwest 25 times a day, by the way. Now, can I say that or not? I just did twice, so
Probably
it is what
not.
it is.
Yeah.
Probably not.
That might have been when I tweeted you're breaking all the rules today.
Well, hey, you know what, Nick? In that case, then don't trade for, a quarterback that's not playing Ryan Fitzpatrick, and don't trade away Russell Wilson for Tyler Higbee, and then I won't say those type of things.
By the way, did the trade go through in fantasy? Because this one is way worse than yours.
I
yours
voted
was
against it.
This one's way worse.
So Kuz voted against it.
No, Stuart voted against it.
Okay, he did. Here's where I stand.
just didn't vote.
Here's where I stand, Brent.
Yet.
Obviously, this was a attack to me, right? This was a direct message to me. Nick's been listening to the show. You heard what I said yesterday. He's sending a message to me.
Yeah.
I voted for the trade to go through.
You did?
Here's why. Give me everything you got. Give me your biggest guns. I don't care, man. I'll take them head on, and I will still beat you. You can have every gun in your arsenal and every little swindling trick, if you will. Like, you thought the Russian collusion was bad? Check this out, because everyone's colluding against me right now. I don't care. Back is against the wall. People want to doubt me, Brent. See what I do.
So the question is here, was this attacked because Nick's the boss man?
Yeah, he is the boss man.
And so you had to approve the trade, or you were afraid of your future?
No, listen, my future, I'm trying to live one day at a time, first of all.
Brings another question. Have people been fired over fantasy football?
Well, I was going to ask.
Olivia should be.
My first thing was I was going to text Nick and say, as the boss of a sports station, you should know Fitzpatrick is not playing this weekend. Give him a little jab.
Oh, no, but the thing Nick does when we draft, I think he takes 6 quarterbacks.
He does. He
right?
does.
Just for this very moment.
Now, keep in mind, he has Tom Brady going, which, let's be honest, Brent, I think we're on the same page here. We may disagree about a lot of things, but I would put Russell Wilson over Tom Brady in fantasy football. Just me. I think you would agree with that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the fact that he's essentially trading Russell Wilson for Tyler Higbee, listen, It's collusion. And I even I messaged Olivia about it on Twitter. You know what she had to say about it? Listen to good old Olivia, who I had so much respect for. I sat next to her at a wrestling event. A big fan, hard worker, but I want her 2 weeks' notice, and I want it right now, Brent, because here's what she had to say about it. I go, hey, what's going on here? Like, is there some kind of collusion going on between everybody trying to get back at me? And she goes, I'm a savage for it. It was sneaky. I'm all for it, and I would do it again. Message received.
She texted me today. She said, don't worry about giving Austin content. He's
Message
all fired
received.
up, and I think he's still going to be fired up for the radio show today.
Message received. Listen,
by the way, Austin is sweating.
Oh, yeah. What else is new? I always sweat in here.
I don't know.
Hey, when it's my show, though, man.
I guess
when
you're
it's just
carrying
me,
the load today.
I know, man. I know.
Worked up.
I know,
or is it
man.
the fantasy football thing?
It's a combination of everything going on. We haven't even broken down the Taven Bryan wallet says it all yet.
Right?
Like, we got a lot of stuff to still cover here.
I know. Don't let me hijack your show here.
I wish you would, Max. I'm sweating so bad. My heart rate's up so high right now. But with that being said, I'm not sure if you listened to the last segment I was doing, but I was kind of breaking down the teams that are kind of in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, if you will, a little bit. And we're left with about 4 or 5 teams that I think logically could get the job done. Now, the Falcons. I think the Falcons are too great. Yes, they're 1-5 right now, but they're too talented of a team, and they kind of got a boost a little bit with Raheem Morris coaching now. The Falcons aren't going to be in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. I don't care what Matt Ryan is doing. Like, it's not going to happen, right? The Vikings, the Vikings are interesting, right? Because they're tanking. Let's be honest, Brent. You trade away Yannick Ngakoue. Your thoughts about that, by the way?
I just couldn't believe it. It doesn't make much sense. I don't understand the rental. Does that really, though? The one thing about it is, yeah, maybe they are tanking a little bit. And by the way, at the same time, Danielle Hunter just goes on the IR. They just lost both guys today.
Correct. Well,
like, he hasn't been playing, but I'm just saying he's out for the season now.
Yeah.
Like, they declared that, I think, today.
But keep in mind, he probably could have came back, too, if they really wanted him back.
So what are they doing there? And I just think the interesting part of this that people aren't going to talk about is, remember when Jan and his camp wanted 2 1s and a 1 and there's something else, and everybody was thinking 1-1-1? Yeah. Obviously, that's not the market for Jan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crystal clear. He's been traded twice in the last 6 months for a 2nd and a 5th, and now a 3rd and a 5th.
And he's having a good season this year
right now. And
he's
doing a great job right now.
Sure.
So I thought that part was pretty interesting. And don't sleep on this. No surprise Baltimore got him. Baltimore obviously was interested in him anyway, if you saw Adam Schefter's tweets. But remember the Clowney move. When the Clowney stuff was going on with Nashville, there was a deal in place, reportedly, that the Jags got involved with the Saints to get Clowney to Baltimore.
Yeah.
But the Jags were going to be the pivot play, so they would eat some of the contract, keep him away from Tennessee, but help feed Baltimore a Jadeveon Clowney, so they could get a guy on the edge.
Yep.
So it's really interesting how all this materialized. The Jags kind of in the middle of it in a roundabout, indirect way, and now Jan goes over to Baltimore. I'm not convinced, by the way, Jan's going to sign a long-term deal with Baltimore. He could be on 3 teams in like 8 months.
I mean, it's a great point, right? Especially if he keeps on balling out. He's going to demand a high price tag, as he should.
Yeah.
You're a pass
He's got
rusher.
5 sacks.
You're in a valued position. So, yeah, it's a great point where this could be a lease right now for the Baltimore Ravens, but obviously the Baltimore Ravens are in win-now mode. So, with that being said, the Vikings, I get it. You trade away Yannick Ngakoue. You put Daniel Hunter on the IR. I kind of scheduled it out a little bit. They have 5 could-win games still. You know, they play the Lions twice. The Bears, I'm not quite sold on towards the end of the season. But at the end of the day, I think Dalvin Cook's going to come back. You have a talented receiving group in Jefferson and Thielen. Irv Smith Jr. is coming on at the tight end position. And obviously you have Kirk Cousins, who, if you want to say, is fighting for his job right now. I like those odds. I don't see the Vikings finishing with the worst record in the NFL.
There's no way they don't win like 2 more games.
There's no way.
By the way, they got to play the Jags.
Yeah.
I don't know who else they have to play, but they have to play the Jags.
Yep.
And you put your money on Minnesota.
Yeah. Obviously, with this list, the Bengals are on there just because what they have right now is personnel. But even if that's the case, Trevor Lawrence is not going to Cincinnati.
No,
all right,
they'll
you have
sneak
Joe
out
Burrow.
more wins. The thing about that would be interesting with Cincinnati is then anybody would trade.
Correct.
That could handle a big time trade, like a big trade. What the Jags could do, but would they be willing to do? I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Now the Cincinnati would be sitting in a great position because they could go get other positions instead of the quarterback because they already got their guy. But I think actually they're too talented. They're not overly talented, but they're too talented to win just 1 game.
Speaking of a team on the list from Vegas, accordingly, the Texans. Once again, Texans I think are just too talented.
Yeah.
Like I don't see the Texans finishing with the worst record in the NFL.
And again, they play the Jags again.
Exactly. So we're just going to move past them as well. 2 teams left, the Jaguars and obviously the favorite, the New York Jets. Now, the Jets, Sam Darnold's slated to come back pretty soon, if not this week. Now, if I'm Adam Gase and if I'm that organization, I go get that guy from Los Angeles who, treated, let's just say, Tyrod Taylor, and I say, hey, Sam, you want a shot for that shoulder? And I accidentally miss a little bit. Get him right in the rib cage.
What you miss.
Hey, get him right in the rib cage. Maybe puncture. I'm not saying to hurt anybody, but hey, maybe just puncture along a little bit on Sam Darnold. He's had a rough go of it. He's had mono. He's seen ghosts. Let's go ahead and puncture along the kind of go with the trifecta, let's just say, and let's keep Joe Flacco in there, because if Joe Flacco's in there, this team will not win a game. Sam Darnold, to me, is kind of the X factor a little bit. If you watch that game when they played the Denver Broncos Thursday night, like, he kind of put the team on his back a little bit, and he kept the game at least competitive against
they had a chance to win
pretty
that
good
game.
Broncos team who just beat the Patriots, right? So the way it stands right now, like, yes, obviously the Jets, the roster is horrible. I wrote them down. They have essentially maybe one could-win game right now where they stand. I said one could-win game. Because they play the Bills twice. They play the Patriots. It's a tough schedule for them.
Dolphins?
And I think the Dolphins is
that their
tougher. Yeah,
could-win game?
The Dolphins is.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. The Dolphins and the Chargers on the West Coast. But Chargers on the West Coast.
They ain't beating the Chargers. They got a better chance to beat Tua and the Dolphins.
Sure.
So depending on how they're playing.
So I said one then, right?
Yep.
So they have one could-win game right now, even if Donald comes back. To me, that's the no-brainer. I think the New York Jets are getting Trevor Lawrence hands down. The Jaguars, though. All right, let's be optimistic real quick. The Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what they have? Gardner Minshew fighting for his job. You like their offense, obviously. Their defense is a liability. But to me, I'm worried more about offense. And we've seen the offense fire a little bit against some pretty good defenses. With that being said, I have the Chargers, the Chicago Bears, the Indianapolis Colts towards the end of the season, depending where they're at. And I have the Vikings as 4 games that they could win. Like, not saying they're going to win them, but they could win games.
I still think Houston here is one of those could wins.
Sure.
Could.
So, see, once again, and I say that with the quotations, could win games. The Jaguars have 4 of them. The Jets have 1 of them. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. What did we learn today, class? The Jets are going to get Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, the Jets are bad. Like, I know the Jags are bad right now, and they are bad right now.
Yeah.
But the Jags are like 10 times better than the Jets, I think. Like I
Without
say that,
a
I
doubt.
think.
Yeah.
I think if they played right now, I think the Jags would beat them by 20.
So I have the Jets getting Trevor Lawrence, and my second team to get him possibly, because their offense is so abysmal right now and they're lost, is the Washington football team.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one too. And then a lot of it'll be this conversation is going to turn at one point or another to see how good Justin Fields is. Mm-hmm. And some of the reason why Justin Fields' conversation hasn't been booming is one, because Trevor Lawrence has been so good, and since his freshman year, they've been targeting him in this year to be the number 1 pick, right? There's been that much momentum about him. But once the Big Ten starts up again this weekend and Justin Fields puts on a show or two, you wonder how much his stock will rise. Because remember, we had Fitz on Tuesday, and that stayed with me a little bit.
Yep.
He said some of the experts in Bristol and some of the people they talked to and what he's referring to is a little bit behind the scenes, and say, hey, keep an eye on Fields now, especially this day and age, and some of the quarterbacks coming out of college. My hesitation is Ohio State, but the bottom line is I would feel okay with the Jags if they were going to reset the position, obviously with Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. I think it would be a reach for Trey Lance at this point.
And here's my question about that, right? Because, I mean, listen, all I have to go off of Trey Lance is the one game that I watched him play, and that's it. And then I have to go off of what my people tell me North Dakota State. They're fans of him. Now, that's a little biased, it just might be, but they weren't wrong about James Robinson either, right? When I asked about James Robinson, they said the guy's going to be special in the NFL. Well, so far, they are. So they were right about James Robinson. Maybe they're right about Trey Lance. But let's be honest, Brent. Trey Lance's only game this year, it was okay. Like, to me, I watched Trey Lance play, and it wasn't like, oh, I get it. Like, I mean, it was like, yeah, he's a dual threat guy. I can get that. And that game was tailored to him, keep in mind. It was almost like a pro day / game. Right? Like, they set Trey Lance up to succeed. How much can you go off of one game, though? Like, how much of a risk is that? Because let's be honest, where you got to take Trey Lance, probably top 15. Like, that's a big move. That's a big piece to take and say, you know what? Let's risk it for the biscuit. Let's get Trey Lance. Because if it backfires, you lose your job over that.
I don't think they're going to look at this tape at all, to be honest with you. I think they'll look at other tape, and I think also the combine, the Senior Bowl, those kind of things, or not the Senior Bowl, but those kind of games, workouts, those are going to be the key for Trey Lance. And I think he'll wow people in those. And so the interview processes, I think he has a chance to wow people and move up. But I do think it's a risky move right now. The other part of it is, depending if you pick first or second, might depend on which coach you could attract. Because if somebody knows they're getting Trevor Lawrence, well, that coach might not like Justin Fields. Someone else might say, hey, my offense, I kind of like Justin Fields.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting with the top 2 picks, what jobs are open, what coaches could be attracted. Because if you're in the top 2, then you're going to get one of those 2 guys if you want them. So I think that's an interesting part about it. Send us the break, man. This is your show. I'm just here for it.
Oh, no. Hey, man, you're still the boss. Don't get it twisted. You're one of the bosses. Nick is the boss.
Are we going to go to the wall
trades.
that says it all?
You want to?
Let's do it.
You want to check it out? Taven Bryan, Jaguars defense. Wide 9? Or do you stick with what you got right now? We talk about that next year on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers into this evening, partly cloudy overnight in the upper 60s to low 70s with some areas of fog developing, and a mix of sun and clouds, again with some scattered showers on Friday, a high of 83. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Hurry, Beard's Buy One, Get One wedding band sale ends this Saturday.
Hey, boss, look at this article from the Crooks R Us newsletter.
What you got there, Peaches?
It says, disappointed consumers are returning do-it-yourself alarm systems in record numbers.
That doesn't surprise me. Once folks realize us crooks love the DIYs, they come to the senses and send them back.
Yeah, then they upgrade to a safe touch system and poof, instant crook repellent.
You got that right.
Oh, but wait till you hear this, boss. These do-it-yourself alarm companies are taking back these alarms from customers and then reselling them as refurbished.
Oh, gee, I thought we were shameless.
Yeah, but it's good when you think about it. The more DIY systems out there means fewer safe touch systems.
True, because we all live by the Crooks R Us motto, stay away from safe touch houses.
That's right.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
As the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes: the importance of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean, and that's also why our family has a Connecticut system from CGC Water. Yours can too. Right now, CGC Water is offering a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Connecticut Premier Softeners are non-electric and have twin tanks, making them super efficient, saving you money. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Financing available with approved credit. Just call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
It's so good, they're bringing it back to Beard's Diamonds.
No other jewelry store in North Florida can match it.
It's a buy one, get one free on wedding bands. Hurry, sale ends Saturday.
Yes, it's a buy one, get one free on wedding bands.
And only at Beard's Diamonds.
This sale absolutely ends Saturday.
If you're getting married soon or just want to upgrade your wedding bands, now is the time during Beard's Diamonds buy one, get one sale.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
Appliances may work on your schedule, but they quit on theirs. At Atlantic Coast Appliance, we'll get your appliances back up and running in no time at all. Our factory-trained and certified technicians have repaired more than 100,000 appliances over the past 35 years, servicing Jacksonville to St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra with a 90-day warranty on parts and labor, plus a 100% satisfaction guarantee. When your appliances quit, we're ready to get started. For quality repair at a price that's fair, visit AtlanticCoastAppliance.com.
For more than 25 years, the potential for health improvement is seen with each patient that walks through our doors. Healthcare decisions don't have to be confusing. Make Island Doctors your medical practice.
My husband and I have been coming to Island Doctors for approximately 10 years, and we have been very happy with them, and we trust them.
Call us today and schedule a tour of one of our locations near you and take a look at our best wellness program, and welcome home.
Call 1-877-434-4676 or visit islanddoctors.com.
Nathan here from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We've got our largest inventory of SUVs ever, including the new Tahoes, Suburbans, and 2020 Chevy Trax. This month, get into a new Trax starting as low as $16,900. That's under $17,000 for a brand new SUV. At Gordon, you'll find a huge selection of new Chevys, no bull pricing, and we always do our best to get you out in your new car in about an hour. Gordon Chevy, 5 miles south of the Orange Park Mall, on the money-saving end of planning, or online at gordonchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs, and make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
This is Chris Chambliss, Clay County Supervisor of Elections, with an important elections announcement. As a registered voter, you've made it to the big leagues, and this is your civic Super Bowl. With early voting taking place soon, there is no excuse to not get in the game. For more information on early voting locations or wait times, visit northfloridavotes.com. That's northfloridavotes.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
And Tony Khan clap back. There you go, Kuz. There's your clap back for you.
Clapped.
So,
It's a
clapped.
gamer thing.
Eric Clapton. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good gamer name.
I'm using that tonight.
Gamer names.
Check your boy, Eric Clapton.
Oh, that's so good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah. You guys just had a moment.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
There's a lot of stuff going through my mind yesterday, just from a personal standpoint, not necessarily, with the team, but, is this it? Like, was that, my last game as an NFL player in terms of, being the starter and going out there and playing, and you just kind of go through all those different scenarios.
Brent, you have the honors. I've already gotten 2 of them today. I got 3 of them today, actually. You got this.
Congrats, by the way, on getting Todd Wash.
Real brain busters, right?
I mean, that was great.
Real hard ones.
That was really good.
Yeah, and I really messed up that Justin Herbert one.
I mean, it would have been better
Schobert.
if you had, like, Snell on or something from the Rays.
But now we're talking.
But that obviously was Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. That's what I got.
I actually I know he's beating the Jags, like, with 6 different teams.
Yeah.
There's something that you really admire about Fitzpatrick, whether it's the beard, whether it's the willing to show the chest hair, whether it's the Harvard degree, or whether it's just like, how the heck has that guy played in the NFL for so long?
I literally had this written down in my notes, and you bring up a great point. Like, listen, they broke the mold with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Because like you said, the guy's a Harvard graduate. So that means, I think he got a perfect Wonderlic score as well. Like,
you mentioned it.
Yeah, he crushed it, right? So, like, obviously a very intelligent guy. No matter what he does in life, he's probably going to be successful and make a lot of money. He's got swag with the beard and the whole Fitzmagic thing of last year, wearing the tracksuits and all that stuff in Tampa Bay. So, like, he's got this cult following as well. And now I feel bad for him. Like, now he's showing emotion where it's like, you know what, man? Like, I'm not happy about this. Like, it means something to me, and I don't agree with being benched. So now, like, he brings you back down to the human level where it's like, oh, I kind of feel bad for Ryan Fitzpatrick now.
He does.
Like, a guy shouldn't have this many, like, attributes towards him, Brent. Like, funny, hip, swag, smart. You feel bad for him now. Well-spoken. How much more do you want from that guy?
I don't know if you think, real quick, Fitzpatrick better at a coaching staff or in the booth?
Oh.
But by the way, if Fitzpatrick's in the booth, he's got to have the beard still.
Of course.
Like, you got to stay with the beard.
What is it? I don't know. It looks like shaven. I don't know what he looks like.
I'm sure early in
clean
his career,
shaven. Yeah, I can look up a picture. That's an interesting question because the personality would show in the booth, right? But
Absolutely.
Like then, but then like by his press conferences, though, like what I know Fitzpatrick for is more like what he wears and how he presents himself more than what he says. Like he's never really had a soundbite where it's like that's hilarious.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
feel
some
like.
of the stuff out of Miami though, and maybe nothing's gone viral, but he's got some personality.
Okay,
and the fun he has back and forth. So I've seen some of that last few weeks, and I thought it was pretty good. So I don't know. I just wonder. He'd probably be great at like just his experiences will be great in the booth. I don't know I'm not saying he's going to be Tony Romo in the booth.
Sure.
But I think he could be pretty good.
But you hit it right there, his experiences, right? Like Tony Romo is so great because it's like you're sitting at a bar and he's talking football with you. Like he's not the most professional guy. Doesn't have to be. With Ryan Fitzpatrick, of all the teams that he's played on, the different offenses, the different teammates that he's had, think of all the stories that Ryan Fitzpatrick can tell when he's doing color commentary. Like to me, it's a no-brainer.
Well, here's the other thing. You know what else makes Tony Romo great? He's never going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Well, think about some of the guys that they try to get. NFL Network, Troy Aikman, right?
Yeah.
Those kind of guys that they try to get the studs that got because they played the game and they have the knowledge and they have the respect and and that's fine, by the way. I think those guys can be very good. But the best guy in the business isn't going to the Hall of Fame.
Good call.
And that's Tony Romo. And now that's not the same for like baseball. Like I think John Smoltz is unbelievable.
He crushed it last night.
He's unbelievable.
That was fantastic.
He's great.
Yeah.
And he has been for a few years. And he is that guy. So
and he tells great stories too.
Great stories, great experiences, layman's terms, everything. I think those two guys go, and I'm probably missing somebody. I think those two are the best in their industry right now.
Yeah.
Smoltz and Romo.
Yeah.
I think they're just fantastic.
Yeah,
So
all due respect, like I think like Reggie Miller, but he's kind of like, I mean, he's okay. Chris Webber, but it's not.
You know what? And if you think the best, obviously Breen's so good. But if you and there's a great dynamic there. Was with Van Gundy.
Yep.
And so I think the difference there for me is in basketball, the best. When you think basketball broadcasts, you think of the studio show.
Yeah, correct.
Because of Shaq and because of
Hands
Charles.
down, yeah.
And so you don't even think of Breen and whoever else is
point.
along the way.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Fitzpatrick would go there or not. All right, get us into the wall that says it all because this will be a shorter segment.
Yeah, man, we got to get going here. So the wall that says it all. Listen, I've been trying to avoid this as much as possible, Brent. I try to stay positive with the wall that says it all, but some things you just can't ignore, right? And right now, this Jaguars defensive line, more specifically the interior defensive line, it's not cutting the mustard. It's not living up to snuff. Let's just say
It's been awful.
It's been awful. There you go. I'm trying to be nice about it.
No.
And here comes the realist Brett Martineau. I guess we're kind of switching roles today a little bit. So let's get into it. Let's break down this run by DeAndre Swift. Kind of put him on the map a little bit. Now all of a sudden we got a DeAndre Swift highlight film. Compliments of the Jacksonville Jaguars. How many times have we told this story about running backs having field days of the Jaguars? Well, DeAndre Swift adds to this. Let's go to slide number 1. Coos, we ready to roll?
We're on it.
Let's get it.
Ball's in the middle of the field, the 25-yard line. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you're in your car, we will illustrate it for your ears. But it's 7-3, 1st and 10, late first quarter. Left to right are the Detroit Lions on the football field.
So you said the key phrase right when you started off the segment. You said, where's the ball, Brent?
Right in the middle of the field
in the
at the
middle
25.
of the field. Now, if you look at this formation, and listen, I don't expect you to know formations and things like that. We can call it a bunch formation.
Kind of looks bunched.
But what do you see that kind of stands out to you with this formation right now?
I see nobody out wide, and I see one back in the field. That's in the backfield. That's what jumps out to me.
Okay. Something else should jump out to you is it's mirrored. It's mirrored, right?
Very
because
good.
look at this. Right now, it's the same on the left side as it is on the right side.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's
so
what I would call
mirrored.
symmetric.
I like that. So it's symmetric right now. So the Detroit Lions are in a symmetric formation on a symmetric part of the field in the middle of the field. Now, keep this in mind. The way the Jaguars run this defense, you have a strong side and you have a weak side. Now, if the Lions were to come out in this formation and the ball wasn't in the center of the field, you would call it to the boundary side where the strong side is, right? Or the field side. Usually it's the field side because there's more space to run, so the strong side goes towards more space to run. Here we have a scenario where the ball was just kicked. It's on the 25-yard line right in the middle of the field where there truly is no strong side or weak side. So if you're Todd Wash, if you're Joe Schobert, you just say, well, I guess strong side right? I mean, like, there's no correct way to call this play right here on defense. So right now you're behind the 8 ball a little bit because there is no strong side, weak side of the field. So essentially you're setting your defense to a guess. And that's where we are with frame number 1 right now.
So that's
Keep
really,
that in
by
mind.
the way, it's a pretty good formation then, right?
It's a genius formation.
Yeah.
And this is a formation that can beat this defense. I'm glad you brought that
also,
up.
I don't know if Patricia has a say in the offensive play calls at all, but he's a defensive guy and knows this might confuse a defense.
Let's just put it like this. This play right here with where the ball is at during this time in the game, this play was not by accident. This was designed, I feel like, days before they even stepped on the field.
Interesting. So a scripted play. One question. That's 10 guys on the field. I'm assuming Jared Wilson is even further back because I don't count 11.
Correct. Yeah. I think. Well, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. I think he's farther back. That's a good call, though. I didn't even count the guys in the field, Brent. That's where you come in, I guess. I hope he's farther back.
I hope so. I'll have to check the other screen grab of it.
Yeah, he's probably playing center field. Okay, Kuz, slide number 2, if you so kindly will do that for us. And let me go ahead and bring it up on my screen here. All right, so we got slide number 2 now. All right, so the play has started here, basically, right? And we have DeAndre Swift, what we like to call, it's like a read zone, right? There's going to be a cutback lane, but what does DeAndre Swift see right here? He sees a wide open space, 88, and out the gate. Taven Bryan right here, as you see, and I talk about this all the time in this defense, the 3 technique, they have to man their ground. You can't get blown back. You have to stand your ground. We see Bryan right now making a cardinal sin. Well, actually 2 cardinal sins. Number 1, Brent, where's his pad level?
My screen is not showing it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put it to you right here. Where's that pad level at? Way too high. High, right? And right now he's off balance on 1 foot. Brent, if I was going to push you and you're staying on 2 feet or 1 foot, what are you going to be more stable on? 2 feet, yes, sir. So right now we have Taven Bryan being too high on 1 foot and he's being blown off. Now, I've seen this before, right? And I've taken part of this kind of play before. And yes, I've been there where obviously I get blown back a little bit. The guy runs right next to me. It happens. But with that being said, though, this just isn't Taven Bryan's fault. Now, if you go on Twitter and you see replays of this run, everyone's going to blame Taven Bryan here. But it doesn't just fall on him. It falls on 2 other gentlemen, Miles Jack and, Brent, have a guess?
Joe Schobert.
Nope.
Jared Wilson.
Nope.
Josh Jones.
Correct.
Hold
Josh
on one
Jones.
second. Kuz, do we have this other screen up? Because it's not showing up on my Twitter feed, at least, to switch over.
Should be there.
It should be there? Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, cool. Hopefully it's there. If not, it is what it is. We're just, hey, ESPN 690, we're just trying to make it. So as we can see, Taven Bryan getting blown off the ball a little bit. As we can see, Miles Jack is not even there, right? So someone's got this gap. Keep in mind, Taven Bryan has the B gap, Brent. This ball is going towards the A gap right now. So yes, Taven Bryan is getting pushed back out of his gap, but guess what? That's not his play to make. That's Miles Jack's play to make. And here's what happened. Out of this formation, what I talk about, how it's symmetrical. So you don't know where the strong side and the weak side's coming. The Detroit Lions set it up like they're going to run to the strong side of this formation. Now, whether that was an audible or whatever the case may be, they gave the look like they're going to run to the strong side of the call, right? So Miles Jack goes over there. Josh Jones, who has the tight end man, goes all the way from one side of the field to the other side of the field because he has to take his guy man. In doing so, that leaves a wide open hole right down the middle. And when we talk about this defense, what the main objective of this defense should be is to stop the run in the middle. Essentially what you have now is Miles Jack playing on the outside, and you have Josh Jones not recognizing quick enough that this is a run. He thinks it's a pass, even though we see a tight end right now blocking another cornerback. Josh Jones doesn't buy that, goes to the outside, and it's 88 and out the gate.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, you can see it, what Austin's talking about. If you're listening in your car, this is the play that goes for 54 yards, and this is the play that I said, I remember tweeting, there you could fit a Mack truck through this hole. It was a huge hole. But exactly what you're saying is right. They start running this play to the left side, and everybody, in this frame, everybody's looking at that left side. If they're not already over there, their body's facing that way.
Correct.
And so this obviously put a lot of stress on Taven Bryan and whoever else was on that side during this play.
Absolutely. Well said. So right now, like once again, can Taven Bryan help make this play? Absolutely. But is that his gap? Absolutely not. Let's go to slide number 3. Slide number 3, and this is a different angle of it. Marcel Robinson, beautiful job, man. And by the way, Marcel Robinson is on my side in terms of the boss man's trade to Olivia. He thinks it was horrible as well. So it's good to have a friend and a confidant on my team. With that being said, let's go to slide number 3. And we highlight Josh Jones right here. Josh Jones is in the opposite side of the field. Keep in mind, he started on one side, and now he's on the opposite side getting blocked by Marvin Jones, a wide receiver. That goes to show you right now that he did not recognize the situation. He thought it was going to be a pass, and it was a run. This is where read recognition and seeing your keys comes into play. If Josh Jones, even for maybe a second sooner, realizes, like, okay, the tight end's blocking down, Marvin Jones is coming to block me, this is not a pass. If Josh Jones can recognize that, he can help in that gap right there, that A gap. If Miles Jack doesn't recognize, listen, they're running it to my gap, I should stay home instead. No. If he stays home, he can help out. So once again, and this seems to be kind of the trend going on right now with the wall that says it all in terms of when we talk about their defense, we have 3 guys right now, Brent. 3 guys that are not doing their job. Yes, Taven Bryant takes the brunt of this because we see him getting driven back, and it's not a good look. But it also falls on Miles Jack a little bit, and it falls on Josh Jones. If one of those 3 guys can do their job just a little better, if Taven Bryant can hold his ground and make it a smaller hole, if Miles Jack doesn't get pushed outside, doesn't get involved with the theatrics and all the smoke screens and stays in his gap, he might have a tackle. If Josh Jones can recognize a little sooner that it's not a pass, it's actually a run, he can help out as well. You have 3 guys that didn't do their job, and now you have DeAndre Swift running for 50 yards.
It's amazing, really, if you look at this, because when you describe Josh Jones and Miles Jack in this play, as we show this latest illustration, and basically it's DeAndre Swift running away, and there's just a bunch of green grass there. Yeah. I actually was surprised he didn't score a touchdown.
Who are you telling?
But he wasn't fast enough, really, to break. It should have been a touchdown. Oh, I would say a lot of guys would probably be a touchdown. I thought Swift was a little quicker in that sense to be able to get it, but he wasn't. Bottom line is, you see Josh Jones and Miles Jack, they couldn't be further away from the play. In fact, they're 2 of the 3 most furthest away players from the play, and they started, in the spot where now Swift is running. So it's fascinating to see, and as we always, it seems like every time we do one of these big runs, it's not just one guy. Yes. It's usually 2, 3, maybe even sometimes 4 players.
So now let me go in real quick before we go to break. Let me tie this into the wide 9 defense and why I think that it deserves consideration to be switched to a wide 9 defense. Right now, what you have in the Jacksonville Jaguars in this defense and this team is you have a team that is pressing, obviously, trying to make plays and go above and beyond what they're capable of doing. And in doing so, you have a defense that's given up way too much rushing yardage and also way too great of quarterback play. With that being said, you have to ask yourself, what is this defense trying to do right now? It's putting their corners and their safeties, like Josh Jones, other secondary members, in positions where they cannot succeed, okay? We saw a couple times, I didn't break this part down, but we saw a couple times during this Lions game, Brent, where we saw guys surrender the edge. And by it means surrendering the edge, it means that a guy's got the C gap, we call it, the outside responsibility, and he gets sucked in, and you saw DeAndre Swift, you saw Adrian Peterson run to the outside and get a first down. Right? That is the cardinal sin of this defense, and it's the cardinal sin of any defense. Because playing the edge doesn't take any kind of talent. It takes strength. I get that. But it takes a mind. You have to be like, listen, if I have the outside, I got to stay outside. The Jaguars couldn't even get that done. And if you can't get that done, that is the biggest red flag of all red flags on a defense. It's the biggest cardinal sin when you cannot hold an edge. So with that being said, putting your cornerbacks and safeties in that position right now, it is not working. So would you rather have a cornerback or a safety in it holding the edge, quote unquote, or would you rather have Josh Allen, Caleb on Chase on, guys who have done that standing up but have still set the edge before doing that? I would rather take the latter, and that's why I think they should switch over to a wide 9 because let's be honest here. This defense with the running right now was put in to stop the inside run, and they can't even do that right now.
One question on Miles Jack here, because Josh Jones, he got picked on in this game. I didn't think he had a good game, and I thought he got picked on. Taven Bryan's not playing good football. I mean, he's just not. And that illustration you had is something that somebody told me last week. It's like, if he's like right here and in good shape with both feet, he's fine. But as soon as something else throws him off balance, he's gone, like off the play. And this is kind of an illustration of that he kind of is – at least in the freeze frame that we had of it, the image, he's like on one leg and just that gap keeps getting bigger and bigger for DeAndre Swift to run through. But my curiosity is Miles Jack, because he's been playing really good football.
Sure.
And so which one of 3 things happened? Did he just kind of lose focus and get sucked in and fooled, if you will? Did he press to try to make a play? Or did he just have bad gap integrity?
This is where it comes back to slide number 1 and how this formation was set up. All right, he was going towards the strong side because the strong side dictates, well, usually that's where the run's going to be, right? So he kind of second-guessed himself a little bit. He went with what he thought he knew in his instincts, telling him, well, listen, they're running the strong side. I got to be over there. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and with the great vision of DeAndre Swift, ran away from the strong side. So, yeah, it falls on Myles Jack, obviously. You have to recognize a little more. You have to trust that the guys that are on the outside have your back.
A little lack of trust, perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lack of trust right there. I think you have a case where Myles Jack, being Myles Jack, is trying to do too much, right? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because let's be honest. You have a lot of guys right now that are trying to play outside themselves to try to make up for a lack of, other guys. So I'm not mad with Myles Jack, though. But it's extremely dangerous. And when you do that, it leads to big plays like that.
Yeah, and listen, it's not, like I said, we've been saying this all week. It's not effort, but sometimes you try too hard, and that's called pressing.
Correct.
And it looks like the Jags on offense with Gardner Minshew are doing that.
Yeah.
And it looks like on times even some of their defense trying to do that.
But once again, this is listen, you want to talk about getting, I don't want to say you got out-coached here, but this is a great call by the Detroit Lions, having a symmetrical offensive scheme where when you call the strong side to weak side, it doesn't matter. They can adjust around it.
Yeah, I see that was a great illustration of a really good play design. And then it's up to Swift to figure it out if they execute it, which way to go, essentially, right?
Correct.
And so it's pretty good play design. And they got them all sucked in on it.
Yep.
And a couple of mistakes. And bam, 54-yard run for DeAndre Swift, part of a big day. And it really stings the Jags, especially even early in the game, because that's such a focus of the offseason was stopping the run. And now you look at the last couple of weeks, and it really hasn't been good, from Cincinnati to Houston to now, of course, against the Detroit Lions. Hey, when we come back, 2 major sporting events tonight. Big-time sporting events. It's next on ESPN 690.
These days, more and more women are asking for fancy-shaped diamonds. Ovals, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ashers, marquise, heart-shaped, pear-shaped, emerald cuts. All very popular this year. And no one has more of these special shapes than Diamonds Direct. In fact, we've just increased our selection of these beautiful stones with sizes ranging from a ½ carat up to 10 carats. And while other jewelers will try to tell you these fancy shapes cost more, the fact is, as you'll learn at Diamonds Direct,
show today. I just jumped in. We only got a couple minutes left.
Well, thank you for stopping by.
Do I get paid for today?
Of course you do.
Oh, great. Good.
I mean, you kind of write the paychecks, aren't you? So
I guess so.
Yeah.
We had to give away Donato's Pizza gift card, $25. We gave away one earlier with FSU at 4. Of course, Donato's Pizza, one of our sponsors for Florida State football. You can hear them on ESPN 690. Football and basketball, you're home for the Florida State Seminoles coming off that big win over North Carolina. And we want to give away another $25 gift card to Donato's Pizza, 904-362-9901. And let's make it caller number 3 so we don't put Coos to work here toward the end of the show. Caller number 3, 904-362-9901. Gift card to Donato's Pizza. Jump on in. A couple of quick thoughts. World Series real fast.
Yeah.
We got a series, baby.
We got a series, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
You didn't like what the Dodgers did, though, did you?
Didn't. Well, and listen, and it's nothing new, right? Like you mentioned, we've seen the Rays do it. I've seen the Brewers do it myself. But, like, I didn't like the fact that I feel like Dustin May is a guy that's waiting to get unleashed, right? And that's best stuff last night. But the guy throws in the mid-90s, man. Like, he's got the skill set. And I don't like how they use that bullpen. Like, to me, and it was a bullpen game. Don't get it twisted. But why wouldn't you start your gunslinger in May first and then go to the other guys later on? I didn't like what the Dodgers did last night.
Yeah, I kind of like May too, and I every time I look at him out there, I'm like, I don't know if they're using him as much. Now I don't know the Dodgers team. He's just got some electric stuff, and I don't really think of the Dodgers as this great bullpen either. So you have to stress it more. Yeah. Buehler will go in Game 3 tomorrow night, so that will add to it.
By the way, why does May look like a creative player? Like, he looks like a creative player from MLB 2K. Like, he does not look real. Anyways.
Hey, bigger sporting event tonight.
Come on, let's go. I know where you're going with it.
Let's go.
Where I was going. Let's go.
Giants-Eagles or the debate?
Listen, this is final impressions. Right? Listen, everyone's pretty much already voted. Like, we know what, but it's going to be like there's new developments. Don't need to get political about it. I got to go to the debate, man. It's going to be an absolute chaos show.
Listen, don't be mad about this. The bottom line is the debates are now sporting events.
They are, absolutely.
This got no political sway to you. You're not changing your vote tonight.
Yeah.
You're not.
This is a heavyweight fight, Brent, in a bar in the middle of Hooters with 2 overweight guys.
We want to see if the mic gets muted or not tonight.
Exactly.
Wait, what's the prop bet on that?
Pulling no punches. It's the last debate, Brent. Let's go out with a bang, man.
The debate for the Giants-Eagles.
We're getting a phone call.
Well, that's for the Donato's Pizza.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Good. Okay.
Had to fill up the phone lines.
That's right.
Just so nobody called about the politics.
I like your style, man. Hey, you want to talk to Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Have some pizza instead. We got you guys.
Hey, good stuff today. Back at it again tomorrow with our picks and others. Thanks for holding down the fort, guys.
No problem.
We got Jaguars All Access coming up tonight before Thursday Night Football on Fox 30. 7 o'clock, Jaguars All Access, Fox 30. I'll be over there at the stadium. Josh Allen, Jaguars pass rusher, will join us. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on TV and back here tomorrow on ESPN 690.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, things may have gotten tougher lately. You're probably looking for savings wherever you can find them. So you may be surprised to hear that most small businesses overpay for workers' compensation insurance. Many insurance companies just aren't set up to give small businesses the savings they deserve. But Pi Insurance was created to change that. We serve small businesses exclusively, and we can save you up to 30%. You owe it to yourself to find out if you're overpaying. Just get a quote right from your computer or smartphone at trypi.com. Pi Insurance is a no-brainer. With our simple online experience and outstanding service, we're rated excellent on Trustpilot by our customers, who tell us Pi is fast, affordable, and easy to work with. As easy as pie, in fact. Savings matter now more than ever. Isn't it worth taking 3 minutes to find out if you're overpaying for workers' comp? Ask your insurance agent for Pi Insurance or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Boss, bad news. You know those ding-dong porch video cameras?
You mean the ones we love to hack?
Yeah. Well, now SafeTouch has doorbell cameras that are state-of-the-art and virtually hack-proof.
What? Hack-proof?
Yeah, plus they're motion activated and they have two-way audio so homeowners can use the app from anywhere in the world with internet and talk with whoever's at their front door.
Oh, great. And I suppose they have high-def recording, too.
And boss, right now during the holidays, Safe Touch Security is offering these video doorbells a $229 value for only $49.
$49? Well, so much for our porch pirate days.
Boss, this could ruin the holidays.
Well, just another reason I hate Safe Touch!
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
The ride you want, the savings you need. And did I mention when it comes to credit approval, almost everybody gets approved? Sounds like it's time to get it all and get over to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Finding the best ride starts with big time selection. And at Arlington, you'll find over 750 new and pre-owned on the lot every day. Right now at Arlington, shop over 100 quality pre-owned cars to buy at $0 down and just $199 a month. Looking for a truck or SUV? Arlington's got 50 quality pre-owned trucks and SUVs to buy at